Eagles. Eagles.
Welcome in, everybody, to the JAKIB Postgame Show here. The Eagles get another win. Big Sills move to 10-2 on the year in the battle of heavyweights. The Philadelphia Eagles prevail and knock off the Baltimore Ravens by a score of 24-19. And the score is a bit deceptive if you did not watch the game. The Ravens just marched down the field and put a touchdown on the board in the final 10 seconds of the game. It was really a 24-12 win, but the final score will read 24-19. Big Sills, welcome to the show, my friend. We'll talk to John McMullen shortly from the stadium after this Eagles win. What's your first takeaways from what the Eagles did today, my friend?
No question, man. They shut down a great offense, and their defense is for real. I mean, make no mistake about it. It's the Saquon and the Eagle defense show. You know, at the end of the day, too, we said special teams would play a factor. I didn't realize Justin Tucker had been struggling so much this year. He leaves 7 points on the board. Would have made the game a tad bit closer, but woulda, shoulda, coulda. That is not what's going to equate into getting a win like that. That is the best and biggest quality win that they've had in 2 years.
No doubt.
Okay? In 2 years, since the start of the 23 season, that's even maybe a bigger win than what it was when they went to Arrowhead and beat Patrick Mahomes. And here's why. John McMullen in the pregame show was telling you that this team was on an iconic pace for one of the best offenses, if not the best offense, since the greatest show on turf. And for them to shut them down like that was absolutely a great performance by that defense. Man, I got to tell you, Derrick Henry, 82 yards. I mean, that's kind of in the room between 82 and 115 yards. But I thought they shut more so than anything. I thought Lamar Jackson played poorly in this football game. I didn't see a great football performance out of him. And once again, A.J. Brown, uncoverable. The offensive line was getting it done again. The defensive line, how about Josh Sweat? Nolan Smith had a sighting. Yeah. Even with guys dropping left and right, Reed Blankenship takes a knocker. Also, too, you had one with Quinyon Mitchell. I mean, at the end of the day, Zander, these guys were overcoming in a football game that was a physical game, and there's no question about it. The defense came through, and so did Saquon Barkley. Jalen Hurts didn't have to do anything. And I said at the beginning of the game, he wasn't going to have to do anything, which he didn't. He didn't turn the ball over. I thought he was effective when he had to be, and more so than anything, he's becoming – how many times do you watch him and Barkley on third down pick up that first down with their wheels? I mean, can you win a Super Bowl? It's becoming evident that, watch this, you shut down a passing attack in Joe Burrow, okay? That's a different style than what Baltimore has done. And you're beating teams with different styles with the same style you have. So can you win a Super Bowl? You're starting to show that you can because you're shutting these other systems down and these other teams by doing what you do best. That's being physical.
No doubt about it. Eagles were very physical today.
By the way, Jalen doesn't have to be elite when you're playing football like this on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, but you know what I like from Jalen today? Because you're right. I mean, the numbers, let me just read them out to everybody. Jalen Hurts was 11 of 19 today, 118 yards with a touchdown. He had 9 carries for 29 yards. A very pedestrian statistical performance. But here's what I liked. When the game was close early in the game and they had 4 straight punts to start the game, the defense gave them a chance. Braden Mann flipped the field, and then Jalen Hurts went on the 9 of 11 run where he had a touchdown pass in there. They got the 2 scores, and they took the lead in that game. I thought he was excellent on those 2 drives, and to your point, that's where he needed to be excellent in this game.
Well, and again, I thought the special teams pinning Baltimore, how many times did they pin Baltimore inside the 10?
I said that at the halftime show. That punt at the 1 yard line, that completely flipped the field.
How many times were like 4 times they were inside the 10, right?
Yeah.
Where they had to drive 90 yards. I thought the decision by Jim Harbaugh to go for it at midfield late in the game with 7 minutes left, I thought that was a mistake on 4th and 8. I go, dude, the chances of you getting that, punt the ball, keep it a 1-score ball game, but you didn't do it. You turned the ball over. And again, I just think that Baltimore, when I watch Lamar play, I see so many fabulous plays, but dude, I get on Hurts for taking shitty sacks. This guy's worse at it. I mean, he took some brutal sacks in that game that took them out of field position. Like I said, man, I mean, Jalen had one sack that I wasn't happy with, but outside of that, he made like 4 or 5 throws in the ball game, and the rest of it was Barkley in the defense. And if you can beat teams like Baltimore and shut them down like that, Zander, I don't care if he throws for 70 yards. That was a good performance and a really good performance by the defense.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Speaking of it, let's go there. No holes defense, as Edgar brings up right here. No holes defense. Thank you for the $20 super chat, my friend. Big Cells, they're really starting to prove they are a no holes defense. You mentioned they beat Joe Burrow. They just stopped Jaden Daniels and the Commanders a couple weeks ago. They stopped Matthew Stafford and the Rams. And now, as Johnny Mack was talking about, this offense is one of the greatest shows on turf, second to that 2000 Rams team. They shut them down today too. I mean, like you said, the thing about Lamar, though, you said about Lamar, he makes some plays that you're like, how do you defend that, right? Even early in the game, I thought the first quarter was the perfect example. Milton Williams is in his face. He escapes, rolls out to the left, and he goes 40 yards downfield. And then he had Isaiah Likely, running up the field wide open, and he overthrows him. And then he had another one. He threw a worm burner into the ground. So he does leave a lot of plays out there. But the no-holes defense, Sills, shows up again, led by Zach Bond, led by Jalen Carter. Those two guys continue to dominate, and I think they're the backbone of that defense.
But quite frankly, if you look at it, the Ravens dominated in every way the Eagles in this ball game. First downs, 24-7. Total yards, 372 to 252. They outrushed them 166, 140. They were better than them in passing on 23 for 36. There was no turnovers in the ball game, so there wasn't. And here's the most significant point: is that Baltimore ran 71 plays to the Eagles 54 plays. That just tells you how good that defense is. Because again, 71 plays. Think about it, Zander. 71 plays. You hold the football team under 400 yards. Most of the time when you see somebody with 70 plays, you're talking about a 500-yard performance. That is enormous on how many opportunities you get. There was like that third quarter when they came out of halftime. Zander, I couldn't remember the last time the Eagles had the ball. It was something like 10 minutes that Baltimore possessed it, and they came away with no points. And that was a backbreaker coming out of the halftime and getting no points.
Big Sills, where does this game move the Big Sills barometer on this team being a legit Super Bowl contender? I know you've had your doubts. You've pointed out some things that you think could be a problem. This is another good win in the column versus a good team, a prolific offense, a prolific quarterback, another one in the column. Where is the Big Sills meter when it comes to Super Bowl potential for this football team?
It's by far the best win of the year. It's by far the best win in 2 years. They completely shut him down. And again, what's the most impressive thing is that your quarterback doesn't have to be great. I mean, your defense is spectacular. Your running game is, dude, another third down play where you're third and long and you're in almost the red zone, and Barkley takes it to the end zone. I mean, you can't defend that shit. How many times at the end of the half or at the end of the clock trying to get run out where Barkley gets a first down to keep the sticks going? Pretty impressive stuff, man. And again, I mean, will the passing game ever eventually come back to haunt them? I don't know right now, because you know what? You're almost getting tired of saying that, because right now it's just not haunting them. And I'll say this one more time to you here, man. A.J. Brown is completely uncoverable. They cannot cover that guy. So you don't turn the ball over. You continue to run the football. There's no question that Saquon Barkley has upped his MVP status because he beat Henry today. I mean, plain and simple. He was more of a factor in that game than even Lamar. You know who I think he's fighting it out with now, the MVP award? He's fighting it out, in my opinion, with Josh Allen up in Buffalo. Yeah. It's those two guys right now that are starting to separate themselves, because I think Lamar and Derrick Henry, they were shut out today. And you got to do this too, Zander. You've got to go over to Vic Fangio and say this. I'll tell you what, man, Sean Desai, no disrespect to you and what you did a year ago, but this guy has improved the game of Nolan Smith, Nakobe Dean, Zach Bond is unbelievable. The secondary guys, even with the loss of Slay, showed up, played out. I mean,
I thought Jordan Davis even showed up tonight, dude.
I saw a couple Jordan Davis sightings in there. Again, they did go for almost 170 yards rushing. Wasn't like they stopped.
I'm telling you, they just had. I know you were already checked into the postgame show. We were waiting to go live. Lamar did just get 50 yards on the ground
So he didn't throw it. Okay. So again, yeah.
I normally don't like to call that out, but I will say, the game was kind of put out of reach. We're talking about 10, 15 seconds
Those are
left.
empty calorie stats.
Yeah, Lamar got a 40 or 50-yard run there at the end of the game. So, they were better
I
than
completely thought Lamar played one of his worst ball games of the year. And that's not – I'm not saying that to go like this. Well, hey, guess what? He didn't give you his best. That's because of the defense. I think the defense predicated that. It wasn't that, hey, if you don't play well, that's on you. But when you get shut down like that, I didn't think those he missed a ton of wideouts too. He missed a ton of wideouts.
3, at least that I can count off the top of my head right now. Wide open players that he just missed. He just flat out missed them. No doubt. Now, Silas, you brought up a point though about like, can we win with this? And the question is almost redundant at this point, but doesn't it feel like all these games are almost unfolding a similar way at the start, where there was the Ravens, just to recap the start of the game, the Ravens went up 3, and I thought they could have scored on that opening drive. Then they got the ball back. They went up. They scored a touchdown, missed the point after. It's 9-0. There were 2 more instances of the Ravens getting the ball back there where they could have made it a 16 or a 20 or even a 20-point game. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, uh-oh. If you keep giving that ball back, and then the defense gets a stop, Braden Mann flips the field, and boom. And then once the Eagles got control of the game, they never gave it back. And I'm like, the time for teams to get up on this team, on the Eagles, is in the first quarter. And to date, our defense has answered every test and has not let them get too far ahead. And then the offense quietly takes the lead, and then boom, it's done. It feels like that's how every game unfolds to me.
I think they need to get away from whatever they're doing with those scripted plays, because they're the worst first quarter offense in pro football, and there's no getting around them.
I don't understand it, dude. I mean, you go from 4 straight punts, and then the second quarter they light it up with 2 touchdowns. What is up with the scripted plays?
Yeah, they can't get out of their own way right now, man. I mean, the way that they're playing, and especially with, like you said, those scripted plays. Let me throw something at you here, Zander. Josh Sweat right now, I mean, he's got 8 sacks. I mean, this was a guy that they were thinking about trading. You talk about pressure that he's putting on the football. I could make the argument, Zander, that he's the best defensive lineman that they have right now, has been playing the best D lineman of anybody all year long when it comes to pressure. Now, the overall guy is, you're going to look at Carter. By the way, Carter made a sensational play in the backfield to get that guy on the ground too. I thought he was great. But boy, I'll tell you what, you got a guy that's on pace for 12, 13 sacks right now in Josh Sweat. This was a move that Howie was thinking of making by moving him. Remember, they manipulated around his contract. They were thinking of moving off him. There was comments that he was going to be traded in the offseason. They kept him. And boy, he's been a factor, and he has benefited another guy who has benefited crazily by the addition of Vic Fangio as the defensive coordinator.
Yeah, no doubt. I bet you an extension might be in works there because he's playing really good football.
Absolutely,
I think he's only on a 1-year contract right now.
Yes.
Josh Sweat, yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what they do there. Sills, it was the running back bowl. We talked about it all week long leading up to this thing. I thought Saquon Barkley got the better of him. Unfortunately, we just missed out on the jersey giveaway, I think by 8 yards. 8 yards, everybody, and we miss out on what would that be, a 4th or 5th consecutive week of giving away a jersey. But what'd you see from Saquon today? He just continues to put this offense on his back and say, buckle in, everybody. Get on my back, and I'll take you home to the finish line.
You know what? I'll say it one more time to you. I'm a Derrick Henry guy, and I think Henry's the best back in the game. But I will say this: Barkley's having the best year of anybody in pro football. I mean, he is having he looks so explosive. Zander, how many times does he get into that line of scrimmage where you're like this? It's an arm tackle away from him hitting his head on the goalpost.
Yep.
We're sitting here watching the game, and she's like, my wife and I are watching it, and she's sitting there going like this. It looks like every time he's going to break loose, and he's going to break for the end zone. I mean, he has been so good, and there is no doubt Man, my God almighty. And one more time, too, dude. If you're the New York Giants and you're watching this, you have to go like this. Oh, my God. I have never seen an organization quit on a guy who was still in his prime like this. You're talking about a Hall of Fame talent that the Giants ruined a Hall of Fame career. That's what this is here, man. This guy's 10 times better than anything Tiki Barber was ever when he was in New York. And for what we're watching right now, I'll tell you this, I hope he gets a chance to run through the tape. You know why? I want to see if he nails that 2105 by Eric Dickerson in 1984, and he breaks that number. You know how many great players have had 2,000 rushing yards? Derrick Henry included. Adrian Peterson has had that. Barry Sanders has had their shot at that. This kid's going to have a legitimate shot at 2105, and I want to see it, man, because Dickerson's the best running back I ever played against. And, boy, I'll tell you what, you go past that number, that's insane.
It's going to be close. What is he? Let's say he was up to, I think he had, 1392 or something?
1392.
So he had 107. So he's at 1499. He needs 600 and change. And what?
Well, he's got 6 games to go.
No, 5, right? What are we, 10-2? So we have 12. We have 5 games to go. So he needs to average about 120 yards a game.
Oh, I'll tell you what, the way he's playing right now, he may have a shot at you. And by the way, you put a couple of those 200-yard rushing attempts in there, rushing games in there, that could change the end. If he gets another 200-yard game somewhere in that 5-game span, he'll break it.
Yeah, he's playing unbelievable football. It's just unreal what we're witnessing.
And by the way, nobody saw this coming.
No, nobody did. And by the way, I think what you said is right. Derrick Henry's the best running back in the world. Saquon Barkley's having the best season right now of any running backs had in a long time.
By far.
That's not a knock on either of those two players. Yeah, both of them are. It is fun watching Derrick Henry. The dude is like Iron Man. I mean, 6'2", 250. I mean, he's iron. He's like Iron Man, dude.
By the way, you're going to have 2 running backs that are going to be 1,800, 1,900 yards. You're going to have another guy potentially at 2,105. I mean, you're talking about 2 sensational players.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Pretty unbelievable.
And once again, too, Zander, all the Monday morning quarterback guys saying, "Oh, what we knew." No, he didn't. The guy never in a million years showed this kind of ability when he was in New York. Nobody knew this. Okay? Or guess what, Zander? There would have been 1,000 more people that would have been in line to try to sign him.
Good stuff, Sills. Let's keep rolling. We got a super chat here I want to get to. Christopher Darker checks in. He says, watching DeJean uproot Henry. How about that? Made my whole day. Of course, they started slow and aggravating. Once the second quarter happened, I felt comfortable again. They were nickel and diming all through the second half, and we held strong. Yeah, credit to the defense. But how about that? Did you see that? Cooper DeJean picks up Derrick Henry and pile drives him into the turf.
The most important and the most impressive thing about him is his in-space tackling, which means he is a great open field tackler. But it's been all year long. And to do that on an elite – by the way, he's one of the 3 elite players in the game in open space. Right. Did you see how many guys that he put a forearm to just on a simple 10-yard run? He put Jordan Davis on his back just with a stiff arm. For this kid to put this guy on his back like that, hey, man, Cooper DeJean, I told you before, Zander, I'm more impressed with his skill set than I am with Quinyon Mitchell's.
Yeah, he is impressive. He's that good of a player. We appreciate it, Christopher Darker. Thank you for the super chat, my man. Good stuff there. Let's keep rolling, Big Sills. Another. What'd you make of Hurts game tonight? I mean, we kind of talked about it. He didn't have much in the air, but I thought he did what he needed to do when he needed to do it. And then once you got that lead, he kind of rode Saquon to the finish. But what'd you make of what you saw from Jalen tonight?
He's playing within himself and what they're asking him to do. Like I said, 11 for 19. They're not going to throw the ball a ton. Why would they? And here, 33 attempts to 19 passes. Their offense was not really all that great today. Their defense was the thing that was fantastic. I mean, quite frankly, look at this. 22 of 36 for Lamar for 237 and 2 touchdowns. I get a lot of that at the empty calorie time in the back end, but I mean, there was nobody really spectacular. AJ, 5 catches for 66 yards. Goddard had 3 catches for 35. Barkley was 23 of 107. That's probably the most impressive number. But there's Jalen Hurts, 11 of 19, 118, and a touchdown. I mean, what am I really supposed to say about that? Am I supposed to make a great game out of that? Or am I supposed to go, it's an efficient game? So to me, it's more of this kind of conversation. He's being efficient in the system they're asking him to do. They're not asking him to do anything special. He's not making special plays. He's making quality plays. And I think he's making the most important plays by not turning the ball over. He was, like, I might agree with the L here, very pedestrian. And he's been very pedestrian probably since the break. But again, when you have a horse like Secretariat, a.k.a. Saquon Barkley, dude, I'm going to get out of the way of that. Okay? I'm just going to get out of the way. There's no reason to get in the way of throwing the football when you don't have to. The offensive line was on display once again, but I once again have to say the defense really stepped up and played exceptionally well.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. They did have a couple guys go down there today. Reed Blankenship left with a concussion. A couple guys were banged up.
He got banged up a bit too, but he came back.
Quinion got his first. He got banged up a little bit. There was one play there, Quinion, early in the game. He got clapped. I think it was by maybe Derrick Henry who ran into him. And I'm like, hey, welcome to the NFL, son. You're gonna have to start tackling that guy. But overall, I thought the defense, through some adversity, really played well. So as Jason A-Team checks in, defense was amazing. Nolan Smith is definitely a first-round pick. Barkley MVP, baby. Big Sills, how you doing? Jalen Hurts is so good. A.J. Brown is amazing. We win with no Smitty. Tackling was amazing. A lot of points there, A-Team. But just speaking about Nolan Smith, I mean, I thought him and Jalen Hurts both did a pretty nice job today with no Brandon Graham out there. Obviously not a world-beater performance. Nolan Smith got a sack. I thought they were competent and good. With no Brandon Graham today.
I thought he played really well on the edge, and he wasn't a deficiency on the edge. I mean, if you think about him, when the guy just says he's a first rounder, he's on pace for about 32 tackles and 5 sacks. You can make whatever you want out of that. He's getting better. But to me, once again, I think he's a good player. He's getting to be a good player. Is he a great player? Absolutely, far from it. But he's getting there. And you know what? Getting a sack.
Seeing a little more, though, right? Like, beginning of the year, we were like, I'm not seeing anything. You're seeing something now. 4.5 sacks.
Yes.
Yeah,
well, no,
he's getting there.
The more important eyeball for me today was that they set the edge, and they really didn't get out in the perimeter on him. Getting the sack was great, but at the end of the day, Zander, it was more about, hey, were they going to be a liability like Bryce Huff is? And here's something else to think about. Zach Bond made himself another $2 million today. This guy led the team in tackles today, 13 tackles total, 8 solo, forced fumble. I mean, Zander, he's on pace for 172 tackles and 4 sacks. I mean, I said he will never make the all-pro team because just the way the politics is in it. He just might make it when you have a game like that. I mean, dude, this is not playing the Giants.
Yeah.
You're playing against Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry.
This is 3 straight, too, prime time for him. Remember, he had the Commanders, he had the Rams on prime time, and now he has a big game versus the Ravens, which really was viewed in the NFL as the game of the week this week. So, I mean, we talked about it before the game where you're like, you almost watch him and you're like, be good, but don't be that good because I want you here in Philly. What do you think he's going to go for? I mean, that might come down soon, that contract, you would imagine, if the Eagles want to keep him here.
I would make the point that I think he's between $12 and $15 million right now if he were to get on the open market, because I would say this to you. If Patrick Queen can make the money that he made playing next to Roquan Smith, think about the money that he's going to make. And for that being said, I do not believe 1 second that the Eagles will re-sign him if he's asking between 12 and 15. If the Eagles are going to make a number, it's probably going to be closer to 10, maybe 8 or 9, somewhere in there. But if he gets to the open market, dude, he's a $12 to $15 million guy. Now, the question would be this at 27. Are you really going to sign a guy at 27 years old to a 3-year contract to where the back end he's 30 years old? Or do you sign a guy with a 2-year contract and an option? Or do you stay if you're him and take the pay cut and take the razor and you take the haircut and stay in Philly because you're staying with Vic? I don't see Vic going anywhere.
No,
so
I don't
do
think
you
Vic's
stay
going
there?
anywhere. Yeah.
And do you continue to improve by making a really think about this, Zander, $1.5 million he's making. This guy's going to make 10 times that money when it comes to the next season. He's going to make a killing.
Yeah, it's interesting to say. Naz checks in. Let's go to another super chat here. Appreciate everybody, by the way, in the chat today. Don't forget to hit that like button. We should have at least 1,000 likes on the show today with the Birds moving to 10-2. That's 8 straight wins, but who's counting? Started 2-2. We're now 10-2. 8 straight wins for the Birds. Well in control of first place in the NFC East, and on the heels of the Detroit Lions, who are 11-1. And first in the NFC. So we are right there. Naz checks in. We went 11-1.
By the way, Zander, they had a better week than Detroit did.
Yes, they did. And Detroit lost another player, I think. I forget who it was who went down and was ruled out. They're getting injuries. They have a lot of stuff piling up. So this end of the year, these last 5-6 weeks are going to be very important for how everything plays out. Naz checks in. We went 11-1 with the worst defense last year, which was impressive but unsustainable. Now we have an elite defense in Saquon where the offense is more run heavy. We have a consistent winning culture. I do think, you asked what's the difference between this team and last year? That's it right there, what Naz just said. The defense, Saquon Barkley, and the culture seems to be back from 22.
Attitude, in my opinion, it all comes from the run game. You know, you create a physicality for yourself when you're in that run game. I'm going to say this to you too. As much as we want to sit there and get Zach Bonsign down, Mekhi Becton had a freaking absolutely insane great game today. Dude, he's really turned in to a Pro Bowl right guard. I mean, as big as he is in that right Hoss, every game I watch him, he's getting better and better and better at that right guard position. I mean, do you know how many elite O-linemen that they have? The center's elite, the guard's elite, the left guard's elite. The left tackle, the right tackle's elite. The running back is elite. The AJ's elite. Everybody outside the quarterback is elite in that huddle. The quarterback is efficient. Everyone in that huddle is absolutely getting the job done, and most importantly, doing their job.
No doubt about it. No Devontae Smith today. You prevail.
Once again, I didn't notice him.
I know. I didn't notice him either. I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, he's becoming a non-factor when it comes to moving the sticks because the running game is so efficient.
What's up with the start of the game here with Kellen Moore and these scripted plays? Is it something to be concerned about, you think, going late into the year? Or
they're the worst NFL first quarter team in the league.
Yeah, I can't figure it out for the life of me. The second quarter flips, and all of a sudden they look dominant again. First quarter, it's like they're a new team. I don't understand the difference.
I don't know. And I don't understand why they just don't go off script from the first 25 and just go, let's go with our best plays that give us the best opportunity.
Right.
Run the rest of the game like that. I think they're still in a little bit of that mode, Zander, of the 10% that they think they're trying to change the offense and Hurts into this pocket guy, and they're not. If you notice, once again, the worst part of the football game for the Eagles is what? The first 25 plays. And those are the scripted plays. They spend an entire week on those plays, guys. Think about that. Those are the 25 best plays that they come with, 22, 25 best plays they come up with, and they have shit the bed the entire year at it. It takes the players to dig. How many times has the players dug them out of holes after that first quarter? They've done it in the entire year.
No doubt about it. You brought up the O-line. They were great today. I mean, they continue to – it looked like Jalen Hurts it all day. I mean, I didn't see the Ravens pass rush once. Did you?
No,
I didn't see anything. I mean, I'm watching the game. I'm looking. I'm like, what? Where is the Ravens pass rush? They were nowhere to be found out there at all.
I would make this point to you about that offensive line. Would I put Mulata in the Pro Bowl? Yes. Would I put Landon in the Pro Bowl? Yes. Would I have Juergens? Yes. Becton's going to make it. You can make the argument all 5 guys are going to make the Pro Bowl this year on how good that O-line is played.
They're certainly all good enough, that's for sure.
And I'll tell you what, if you're going to come out there in the NFC and try to tell me there's better guys in a better unit, they were by far, and they have probably ascended, Zander, to being, you know what, you can make the argument Detroit is doing a lot of good things, but no question about it. The only problem that I would have, and my only criticism of the offensive line in Philadelphia, is how good are they really in pass protection? They're not asked to pass protect. They're just not really asked. And every time they are asked, the quarterback takes a sack. So, I mean, we're not really looking at something that's – I mean, how many attempts did he have today? 19?
Hurts 19. Yeah, he was 11 of 19 today.
Okay. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and rip the quarterback for winning against Baltimore in Baltimore. But quite frankly, again, there's really not much to talk about with him in this game. It comes down to Barkley and the defense and really, quite frankly, the coaching. I mean, so for me, Jalen is not really a high-end conversation when you win a ball game like that. It's the dude that's in the MVP race right now, and that's Saquon. By the way, it's not a rip. It's talking about giving a guy his flowers, and the guy who gets the flowers is the O-line and the running back and what they're accomplishing. I mean, you know what? If you think about it, let's look at this here, which is kind of crazy in a way. If you look at the numbers in this ball game here, Barkley had what? He had 107 yards. He had 130 yards in what? Here, he had 100. He had a 107, and he had another 10. So he had 117 yards in total offense. In some aspect, he almost had as many yards total offense than the quarterback in the game himself. The quarterback throws the ball. The quarterback had 100 and what was it? 17 yards passing in the game. And he had another what? He had 118 yards passing in the ball game. And Hurts had another 29. Okay, you're talking about 147 to 117. Think about that. That's how important Saquon Barkley is that your running back is equaling the quarterback's total yardage in a game against the Ravens, which is insane. That's how good your defense is.
Well, it is, but I do think Jalen's still doing a good job. I mean, you predicted earlier a couple turnovers, no turnovers again. I mean, that's what we need him to do.
But I also predicted he would be around 140. And
yeah, you did. I mean, I'm not saying it to criticize you. I'm just saying this is what we need him to be. We talked about this on your show. When you have a team this talented, I don't need Jalen Hurts to play like he's Batman. Just be great. Don't turn over the football.
You think you can win just like that with your quarterback not making enough plays?
I mean, I continue to be proven each week that I should believe that. Do you not believe that?
Do you think the Ravens are a Super Bowl team?
Absolutely. I think they're a contender.
Okay. All right. I think that defense is a little suspect for me.
The defense is certainly suspect.
So when you look at Baltimore, do you think they're beating Buffalo and Kansas City?
I mean, I don't think they are because they have 5 losses this year. But do you think that team is not filled like a Super Bowl roster is?
Not on defense. They were, again, if you look at them, they did a nice job on the Eagles. The Eagles had nobody really. I mean, Barkley obviously had 107, but they shut the passing game down completely. They
so
didn't
you
shut
don't think the
down.
Ravens are a Super Bowl contender?
After watching them defensively, were you impressed with them defensively?
No, I wasn't. I wasn't.
Well,
but I'm more impressed with
them.
When you watch Lamar Jackson, they have Lamar Jackson. They have Derrick Henry. They have the prolific running offense. They have Lamar Jackson's got 3,000 plus yards and 27 touchdowns, 29, whatever it is. I mean, they have the pieces.
I'm not really talking about their offense, though. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking when I look at their defense. Do you think that they are good enough in a game that you're in a postseason where you think they can win a game in the postseason where you have to have plays? And if your quarterback makes some of the bonehead plays that he made in a game against a team that has some balance on it, running the ball and playing defense.
Yeah, but like who? Like who are we going to see right now that's been a bigger test defensively?
I'm not ripping Philly. I'm ripping them. You're thinking I'm ripping the Eagles.
No, I'm not taking it as a rip. I'm just trying to talk to the conversation.
I don't think Baltimore looked like a Super Bowl contender to me today.
No, they don't. But when you have Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry,
okay,
I think you enter that conversation.
If they could play defense, it'd be a different conversation for me.
Well, maybe. I don't see a team though. I don't see a team out there that's going to put up a performance defensively that's much stiffer than that.
Okay. Well, then you think they have a Super Bowl contending type defense?
No, I just don't think there's that many teams out there that I mean, who are we going to play? The Eagles? We can't play the Eagles.
I think
we're the only Eagles.
I think Kansas City could shut them down.
Kansas City's a good defense. I mean, you're right. There are a good defense.
And I think Buffalo could shut them down.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, those are the 3 teams right there in the AFC, though. I mean, I don't know. How much better is Buffalo's defense than the Ravens?
I will say and put this here. After watching Detroit's defense against Chicago, Philly definitely has a better defense. And you know what?
Philly's the best defense in the NFL right now.
The only thing that I would say is that I think I would take Detroit's offense because they got more balance. They can throw the ball and they can run it. You can't throw the ball yet, or you don't want to throw the ball. Whatever it is, you just don't. And Detroit can, and Detroit does, and will. You don't.
So you would take Jared Goff? Will you take Jared Goff over Jalen Hurts though, or is it more of a collective?
He's done more than Hurts in his entire career. He's done more.
I feel like
he's been to more Super Bowls. He's been to more.
He's got a way longer career.
Well, he did that in his second year. He went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, so did Jalen.
Okay, and this guy's a 4,000-yard passer and will throw for 30 TDs this year. So
yeah, but I don't think stats are the end-all be-all for that.
It's not stats. I'm saying they can do more from the passing game. You don't throw the ball.
Yeah, but he can't do anything off script. It's a two-way street. I hear what you're saying. Jalen doesn't play action passer
because they can run the ball with multiple guys, and they're going to have more rushing yards than the Eagles this year.
Yeah, but they can do more in the passing game. We can do more in all the other games. And in the running game, we can do.
What can you do more than them?
What do you mean, Jalen? You think Jared Goff can do what Jalen Hurts does when he gets outside the pocket?
I think he can make more plays than Hurts. Hurts makes no plays.
Come on, Sills.
Okay, really? He had 19 attempts and 50 yards rushing. What did he do?
Sills, are you going to tell me as a player, not from this game, as a player, Jalen Hurts doesn't make plays
right now? He's not impressive.
Yeah, but he's a playmaker. It would be naive of you to say he's not a playmaker.
That is not a playmaker.
Dude,
sorry.
If Jared Goff
if you don't
can't
agree,
make a throw,
that's you. Jalen Hurts with 19 attempts and 40 yards rushing is not a freaking playmaker.
So you're taking Jared. All right, that's fine. You're taking Jared Goff over Jalen Hurts?
Jared Goff has done more and has done more. Okay, hey, this guy's 3-0 versus Mahomes, too. He's never lost to him. He's beaten good people, too. I mean, let's not forget here. I mean, this guy throws for 35 touchdowns a year, too. And they are 11-1. He's not doing a bad job. He's completely changed the face of the Detroit Lions himself.
I'm not trying to criticize Jared Goff, but I'm saying I would take Jalen Hurts because of what he gives you when the play breaks down.
The passer. Okay, this is what it comes down to styles. You take that style, I'll take the guy who can make plays from the passing game. Your guy can't make plays in the passing game.
You better hope it all goes perfect because, boy, if you get
hoping anything. I'm just telling you what I'm watching. I'm not hoping for anything. I'm watching what I'm seeing this year.
Jared Goff. Look. All right, I hear you. I don't agree, but I hear you.
Okay, great. That's why we have debate shows.
Yeah, Prince Swayze checks in. Kansas City defense has been giving up points consistently. Stop moving the goalpost and finding faults within the team.
I don't have to move the goalpost when a team's going for their third straight Super Bowl. I don't. When it comes to Kansas City and these idiots bring Kansas City up, I don't have
talking about the Ravens, but yeah,
I don't have to move the goalpost with a team that's going for their fourth Super Bowl in 6 years and their third in 3 consecutive years. What goalpost is being moved? How dumb can you be?
I'll take Jalen Hurts, who has what?
4 turnovers. Have at it. I have no issues with somebody taking a quarterback like Jalen Hurts. For me, again, bottom line, I want a quarterback that can make plays in the passing game consistently. That's what I'll take. Again, when you take a look at Goff in the year that Goff's having, he's also in the MVP conversation. Here's a guy that's going to throw the ball 35 times. Here's a guy that's going to go out there and throw this year. He's going to throw for 4,300 yards and 34 touchdowns this year. And you got 2 backs with 1,500 yards in Detroit. I'm just saying, again, they're more versatile.
Recapping here, Eagles moved to 10-2 today. They get the win over the Ravens. A big win today, 24-19, but really it was a little bigger than that, considering the Ravens scored on the last second possession there at the end of the game. And Sills, just to recap the first segment before we get our first commercial break, we'll talk to John McMullen from M&T Bank Stadium a little bit later on in the show. You do think this team is making steps to get closer to a Super Bowl potential right now? You have you're comfortable saying that after this win today?
No question. I mean, remember what my biggest concern was in the beginning of the year for the Eagles? It was this. I thought the offense would be bumpy coming out of the gate when it comes to the coordinator, and it's still bumpy in the passing game. I thought that defense was going to be further behind. Hey, Zander, we had somebody in here a couple months ago go like this. The defense is ahead of pace. The defense is not ahead of pace anymore. The defense is caught up.
Yeah.
I mean, if they can stay healthy, okay? If they can stay healthy, they're going to be in a great conversation and a great place. Right now, the number one issue for the Eagles is what? Health. Health and depth, okay? Health and depth.
Yeah,
that's the number one issue for them. Yeah. But that's for everybody.
Exactly. That's for Detroit,
too. And depth.
Yep, that's for Detroit, too. So that's for everybody here late in the year. We'll read a couple more super chats, and then we'll get to our break. Big thanks to everybody in the chat today. We got a great crowd. Don't forget to hit that like button. I think we should be up at 1,000 likes for an 8th straight win game, or 8th straight win, a 10-2 season, and we knock off Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. Derrick Henry, who? Big Sills, Derrick Henry, who? Lamar Jackson, who?
Hey, look, here, let me just put it to you this way, son. Barkley will knock on the door to get into the Hall of Fame. Henry will have his bust in Canton tonight.
Well, you're not wrong about that, but that doesn't take away from who won the game today. Nosty Beats said, Jared Goff and Jalen Hurts have both played in one Super Bowl. Goff led the Rams to 3 points in that game. Give me a break.
Jared Goff has been to 2 NFC title games, with 2 different teams, and is a monster in the pocket. Look at the numbers. He's on a historic pace with everything he's done this year. Hurts is nowhere near the passer that Jared Goff is. And by the way, would you really say Jameson Williams and the guy St. Brown are in the room with A.J. Brown? Maybe I would now with Devontae, because Devontae's a non-factor in your passing game any longer. I mean, they have completely eliminated him from being any kind of game plan guy. Now, I know he's been in and out of the lineup, but it almost looks like they're – hey, Xander, is this a shitty comment to say? It just looks like their offense is better without Devontae Smith in it.
I don't know if that's a shitty comment, because I'd be lying to you if I said I didn't have the same thought. I just wonder if it's easier to work in AJ when you don't have the – I don't want to say it's a burden. It's not a burden, but it's a good problem to have. Right. You're trying to get everybody involved. Got to get Devontae, got to get AJ, got to get Dallas, got to get Saquon. I mean, just AJ out there and Goddard and Saquon. It almost flowed a little better. Goddard got some touches. AJ got some touches.
Doesn't it look simpler?
Yeah. I do. Simpler? It does. I wonder if that's going to be an issue there when you get late in the year. I don't want to say it's conclusive, but I do think
it's 2 games in a row where, get this, they had no concerns with Devontae. Hey, dude, when you lose AJ, there's a concern. When I lose Devontae, not really much of a concern with that offense to me.
Yeah, well, Devontae missed the 2nd straight game. Birds win their 2nd. I'll tell you, it is a big difference when AJ goes out compared to when Devontae goes out. Not trying to knock on Devontae, but that's the truth. Philip checks in. I miss ugly, gritty football games. Clutch plays by Jalen, touchdown by Dallas, Hurts, and Barkley. I miss these types of games. This could have been a blowout if we recovered all 3 fumbles. Yeah, they did put that ball on the ground.
Hey, Philip, if you want to go with ifs, ands, and buts, if the kicker puts the 7 on the board, you lose. So if you want to go ifs, ands, and buts, if the kicker makes the 2 field goals and the extra point, they beat you.
Well, I do agree. I do like what he said, though, about the ugly, gritty football games. That was one of those games, Sills, where defense, it's a defensive football game. You know, points are at a premium, and that's why the kicking mattered, obviously. But I do agree, Philip. Thanks for the super chat, brother. All right, that's going to do it for supers. We'll hit the rest of them when we come back from the break. We'll talk to John McMullen from the stadium. Looking forward to talking to John, hopefully in the next 15 minutes or so. He will join after the press conferences, so I will check on where they are. Don't forget to hit that like button, everybody. Let's try and get up to 1,000 likes. We're up over 500 already in the like department. So big thanks to everybody on the show today. We'll be back in 3 minutes on the JAKIB Postgame Show.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. counselor.
The following is a real testimonial from the father of a young injured victim.
I didn't think she was going to make it.
Major Perry's daughter was the victim of a horrific accident caused by someone else's negligence.
If you don't find the right counselor, law firm that you're looking for, you will get lost in the wilderness.
Badly injured? Call the Fritz and Bianculli Law Firm at 215-458-2222 and find out why they say, "We got this."
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong as the #1 health insurer in the region. No IBX is always looking out for you.
We noticed that there was mold creeping into our basement about a year and a half ago, and wanted to make sure that we were getting rid of the problem permanently. We actually reached out to several different contractors to get it resolved, and actually 2 of them recommended DryTech to us as a long-term solution. Other than the noise factor, we wouldn't even know that there was work being done on the basement level. It's really been a clean process for us.
Score and save this football season on your car insurance. Before the next game, save up to 40% on your auto insurance policy. That's right, 40% savings. Call an audible this season and contact the Del Val Insurance Group. They're an advocate for you, not an insurance company. That means they'll get you the right coverage and save you up to 40%. Call managing partners Fran or Jim of Del Val Insurance, 215-354-0122, or score and save at dvigi.com. dvigi.com.
EAGLES, Eagles.
Welcome back in, everybody, to the JAKIB Postgame Show. Philadelphia Eagles get the win again today. Their 8th straight victory. They win 24-19, moved to 10-2 on the year over the Baltimore Ravens, who fall to 8-5, and a team that's having a historic offensive season. Now 5 losses for them, and they are in a battle to try and get better seeding in the AFC. But the Birds get the win. Sills, it's their 8th straight. How do you sustain a run like this? How do you avoid the collapse of what happened last year? Based on where this team is right now, what do you like? What do you don't like? What do you think needs to be concerned? What should be the focus of this team going into the final stretch of the year here?
Management of the roster right now when it comes to health. Just again, Zander, staying healthy and keeping the premium players as healthy as possible. You know, Darius Slay not being out there also was a non-factor, but man, it just seemed that Lamar was all over the place in the passing game, and there really weren't any really deep threats to really press the secondary guys. So it was really it was exposed a little bit. Their pass receivers, Zay Flowers runs off the field and he's bitching. How many times again did that guy drop passes tonight in the game? I mean, I don't really think he's all that. But one more time for the Eagles, man, just stay consistent. Don't get injured. Look at the roster, continue to improve in what they're doing, and continue to evolve that defense. I'll say this to you too. If you go back and Brian Baldinger just sent me a couple tapes and a couple videos, Jalen Carter was held every single play.
Every play. He's held every play.
Every play he was held in that ball game. And they were holding him big time in that game. I mean, he just sent me 3 in a row, of him being held. Now, once again, the war of attrition is going to come up. It hit Detroit on Thanksgiving, and it kind of banged up on the Eagles tonight. It's going to be something to keep an eye on. Obviously, is going to be the injury bug as you move forward.
No doubt. It's going to be one of the key talking points here.
I'll tell you this, Dylan Moore, I think is finding more and more what the personnel on that team is capable of doing and what they're not capable of doing. And he's understanding a little bit more with the communication on how to be able to move the sticks. There's no question about it. They're building a form of physicality by running the ball. The quarterback doesn't have to make a ton of plays in the passing game. And until someone can stop that, I'll say this, as much as I think that will end up coming back to bite them, eventually you're going to have to start doing this. You bring up the 8 games in a row. Well, Sills, they've played 8 different styles, it seems, and they're winning with the same style. So to me, Zander, until somebody can stop it, I'm not changing anything I'm doing. When they say usually you have to evolve, you know what? Hey, how about this? This offense might be more predictable than a year ago. It might be more predictable, but you know what it is? It's more unstoppable.
Right.
It was a year ago because of the physicality at the point of attack.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out at the end of the year. What's your level of concern on the passing game? Think of it like a seesaw where when the defense isn't so good, your level of concern's here. But every time that defense knocks another opponent away, for me, I'm saying the passing game becomes less of a concern for me because I think it turns Jalen into a game manager. He doesn't have to don't turn the football over, get the ball to your playmakers, let Saquon Barkley run, let the defense do their thing. And I think you're in a good spot to win every game.
Okay, well, until you get to the playoffs, that's when it's going to be needed. You're going to need the passing game. If there's anybody that thinks that you're going to go in and you're going to win a football game by lining up and you're going to win 3 in a row by winning a Super Bowl like this, I want to, okay, prove us wrong. I've never seen a football team do that. In the last 15 years, I have not seen a team do that.
I think the only team that plausibly did that in the last 15 years was the Broncos team with Peyton Manning. I think that's legit, that's how they did it.
Okay, so 1 in 15. Okay, I just, like I said.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just pointing out the context. I'm not saying you're wrong.
Like I said, I want to see that style win a Super Bowl where you don't have to really have anybody in the passing game make a play. And by the way, I'll take that back. Make a ton of plays. Okay, where you like here.
Yeah, right now we need Jalen to make 5 throws a game.
And that Super Bowl against the 49ers, Mahomes had to make plays with his legs, not his arm. Okay, so he had to go dual threat in that 4th and 5th quarters to beat San Francisco. Will Hurts will he be able to do that when he gets into the postseason? And to the point, when I look at the NFC, what's going to be a big threat with a dual threat quarterback that can make plays in the passing game and that can also make plays in the run game? You're not really looking what Jordan Love maybe? That's a big game coming up on Thursday. You know what Thursday's game is? It's Detroit Green Bay. That's going to be a heck of a ball game to keep an eyeball on because if Detroit drops that game, now we're talking about a football team that's in the conversation now between the Eagles and Detroit on home field advantage.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a good one. That should be a really good one. I think we're there though. I mean, obviously you got to play good football at the end. You got to, you need a couple bounces your way, but I think the Eagles are as good as any team in the NFL. I think they're more physical than just about every team in the NFL. I think their defense is playing better than any team in the NFL. I think all of those things equal Super Bowl when you have a guy who's Saquon Barkley who's on pace for 2,100 yards. I mean, it's just all the pieces right now are proving to me that we're amidst the special season.
So your passing game is in place where it needs to be, in your opinion?
Well, I think the other things are so far above where we're expected that they make up for any lack.
You're okay where you are in your passing game. Okay.
I am because of the defense, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And you're not. You don't believe that they're.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I think you're going to need to have big plays in the passing game to be able to win a Super Bowl. Okay. I think it's now trending, no question. Right now on December 1st, I could make the argument that I think you're probably better than Detroit because of the defense. I would take Detroit's offense, but not by a ton. 9-10. The defense, though, I would say this. I think there's a wider gap with the Eagles and Detroit's defense, and that would give me the nod to look at Philadelphia as being the better team.
Yeah, should be interesting end of the season here. Good night game tonight going on, the Bills and then 49ers. So we'll see if the 49ers can
This will
bounce.
end the 49ers season. If they lose tonight, it'll put them to sleep.
I dream of a game like that in Philly, Sills, where the snow is coming down and the fans are there shoveling out the stadium. I love stuff like that. I would love for that to happen in Philly, and that's why I'm clamoring for that 1 seed. You know, Sills, I said before this game, and I think it still echoes true now that you got the win. Don't get caught up in who we beat. It's great that we beat the Ravens. I think it showed you another element to your team. I'm not saying that doesn't matter. But last year we beat the Chiefs, the Bills, the Cowboys, the Dolphins, all these great teams, and then you collapsed when it mattered most. You know, so get the 1 seed because I think it improves your chances of getting to the Super Bowl. But we got to continue to put the one foot in front of the other, keep getting better each week, and keep showing up with physical football as your brand.
Let me put this out here for you. Have they exceeded expectations of mine at this time of the season? Yes. Running game wise, for sure. Defensively, for sure. Pass rushing, it was funny. They found pressure today.
They did.
They found pressure today.
They did.
Okay. I mean, and you didn't notice. How about this, Sander? You didn't notice Brandon Graham not being there. You know, you didn't notice him not being on the field because the edge was set. So I didn't notice it. I thought they pressured the pocket, and I thought Lamar took some shit sacks in that game. And I thought they pressured him, man. I thought there was internal pressure. Hey, the defense has been the story of the year so far, and with Saquon.
Yeah, well, it's definitely been the defense too. I mean, nobody expected the defense to be the #1 overall defense for crying out loud. So they're in a good spot with them being the defense. Now, can they sustain it? I think that's fair to wonder. But just recapping on this game, Big Sills, I'll give everybody the stats one more time. The Birds win 24-19, which is a little bit of a deceptive score. Jalen Hurts was 11-19 today for 118 and 1 touchdown. Saquon Barkley, 23 carries on the ground for 107 yards and a touchdown, just missing the Saquon Barkley jersey giveaway this week. So there will be no jersey giveaway this week, although I'm tempted to give it Sills because he had 10 in the passing game, good for 117. 8 yards short of the jersey giveaway. You hate to see it there. A.J. Brown had 5 catches for 66 yards. I thought they were an important 5 catches, though, still for A.J. Brown.
Here's the one thing, too. Special teams like Baltimore down where they win it. I mean, they outnumbered them. And like I said, more first downs, more passing yards, more rushing yards, more conversions on third down. They were better. They had no turnovers in the game. Both one team had 71 plays to 54 plays. There wasn't anything in this game offensively that Philadelphia did that Baltimore didn't do better in. I mean, they were better all across the board. I mean, they were even better in penalties. I didn't think really the officiating was all that hot. And again, I'm never going to lean on that. Both teams ran the ball 33, 32 times. I mean, again, Lamar was 206 in the passing game, and Hurts was in like 114 or such. So again, both teams did a nice job on third down. But if you're hanging around 50%, that's kind of what Baltimore was, 6 of 15, and the Eagles were 4 of 12. There wasn't anything redeeming outside of the running back really in that offensive game plan. And I would say those third down catches by AJ in the game where you went like this, that was a really great offensive performance because it wasn't.
Yeah, no doubt. We brought it up a little earlier on the show, but listen to these numbers from the Eagles defense. Ravens, they gave up 12 points. Rams, they gave up 14 points. Commanders, they gave up 10 points. Bengals, they gave up 17 points. I mean, this defense has proven they are legit. Now, the only question left, I think, is the war of attrition and how that's going to affect them late in the year. Unbelievable that there's numbers, dude.
No, absolutely. And it's no longer a conversation, let's see it. It's a conversation, can you sustain it? That's where you are now. Yeah. It's more that than where you were by just doing this. Hey, do you think they're good? Because you've now done this, Andrew. You've climbed the mountain. You're over on the other side now. You have a good unit. I thought this unit would be really good, and I've said it to you, next year. I didn't think they would be coming along this fast. And there's no question, the two guys that have made the impacts that have changed the face of the defense have been Zach Bond, have been the two corners that they've added to the team, and the evolving of Dean. And I'll tell you something else, the play of Sweat. The play of Sweat has been absolutely understated and not given enough love because he's playing great ball. He theoretically, Zander, you could put that guy in the Pro Bowl conversation right now. And I think Vic right now is probably going to win that NFL Assistant Coach of the Year award that Jim Schwartz won a year ago.
Yeah, no doubt. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Another guy I want to talk about still is Jalen Carter. We mentioned him a little bit when we came back from the break, is how much he's getting held. It's unbelievable how much. I try not to cry about the officials, but holy shit. They haven't called one holding on this guy this year. He's held every freaking play. But his stats today, Sills, 8 pressures today, 7 hurries, 3 tackle for losses, 2 quarterback hits, and a sack. This guy is maybe becoming one of the best defensive tackles in the entire league. And he just continues to dominate, and the whole defense is built on him and what he's able to do.
I would put him and Dexter Lawrence as my interior tackles on my all-pro team. He was held, and I told you Baldinger was sending me, clips on how well he's played. Boy, I'll tell you what else too. Guess who he beat up today? He beat up Taylor Linderbaum.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not talking about some third-team guy in there.
Yeah.
We're talking about a guy who's considered, along with the guy in Kansas City and Ragnow in Detroit, as your best centers in the game. And he had a great football game on him tonight. And that's the kind of game where you go like this. All right, we're now looking at somebody who's not just a Pro Bowl guy. You're now looking at somebody who's in the conversation for, having that same kind of thought where you're in the room. Let's not forget something. Dexter Lawrence has 12 sacks this year. Okay, I mean, you're talking
as
about
a nose.
as a nose tackle, which means he's triple teamed.
Yeah.
Okay, he's triple teamed in there. So, I mean, that's how good that player is. And then you have this player here and what he's doing. Pretty good stuff.
Yeah, no, it is. It's pretty good. And I thought, like we said, we brought up Jordan Davis earlier. I thought he was great today too. I really did. I mean, I know he doesn't jump off the page like Carter does. He's a different role, but I thought he was really solid today. There was a couple plays you saw him in the backfield. A couple times he was dancing with the O-lineman, but I thought he created penetration and made it harder for Derrick Henry to get to the open holes.
As I've said before, I don't think he's an awful player, and I don't think he's a sensational player. I think he's a good ball player. I mean, let me ask you this, Zander. Do you really think that guy's played better than what Linval Joseph or Dominican Sue did in 22?
No, I can't say he has been better.
Don't you think they played the same?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, well, those guys were 36 years old.
Yeah. No, you're not.
They were on the other side of their prime.
Yeah, I think at this point with the defense built the way it is, I think you just need Jordan Davis to be competent in the run. And he's been that. So it's good stuff.
Oh, he's taking care of his first and second down.
Yeah, he is. He could even do a little better job at it, but he's showing it a little bit more. T-Bone checked in. I learned a lesson. The media, sports gurus, and analysts with all the stats, history, and insight. In the end, it all comes down to coach management and game planning and ability to adjust and the player performance in a game that's unknown. Well, T-Bone, that's football, brother. You just described football, my friend.
That's not an epiphany, dude. But I appreciate the super, but that's why football changes every week and every day. And like Nick Sirianni says, nothing's consistent with football. Football is the most inconsistent game there possibly is because each and every single week, like watch this. Every week you can go from Josh Allen being an MVP to Lamar Jackson being an MVP to Saquon Barkley being an MVP. It changes every week. What player, what team is better? What team do you like? Do you like Detroit? Do you like Philly? Do you like Kansas City? At the end of the day, man, it'll change. 2 weeks from now, we'll be potentially talking about another MVP candidate.
Yep, no doubt about it. Let's keep rolling. Dober's Army checks in. I'm not sure if this is a Ravens fan checking in. He says, Lamar, another pitiful performance when you have to rely on his arm, just like the playoffs. Hurts seeing misses, the wide open guys, seeing ghosts, fraud. I will say, Lamar does make some misses that you're just like, holy moly. What'd you make of what he did today?
Every time you put up 37 to 42 attempts, and it's Lamar, he can't win. When he hangs around that 23, 24, 25 and has about 12, 13 carries, they're going to win a ton of ball games. But every time they ask him to throw the ball more, I'll tell you what, how many pass catches did did Mark Andrews have to pull out of his ass just to pull him down with one-handed catches? I mean, passes that were behind him, like all over the place. By the way,
touchdown catch by Mark Andrews. That was a great catch.
He had triple coverage.
Yeah.
I mean, that was just, hey, jump up and get it. But at the end of the day, too, here, think about this one more time when it comes to Lamar and the way you watch him play. I mean, you watch sometimes where he just makes all these tremendous plays, and then you watch him and he's throwing gutter balls. He's throwing over the head. I mean, I don't know, man. I really didn't think Baltimore played that well, and I think that had a lot to do with Philadelphia. But if you look at Baltimore, I mean, dude, remember I said it, Zander, prior to the game, I said special teams was going to be a critical factor in this game, and it cost Baltimore 7 points.
No doubt about it. That was big, man. I don't know what happened to Justin Tucker. How do you go from almost a Hall of Fame level kicker?
If you take his misses out, they win. That's how close that game was.
What happened to that guy, man? 1 year.
Hey, dude, it's almost like the yips in golfing. You know,
yes, it is. That's what it reminds me of.
This guy's got the yips here.
He does. He's got the yips bad. Sean Mims checks in. Who won? Brian P. Zander. What happened to his Ravens blowout pick? Well, speaking of him, here he is, Brian Pumper. What an absolute masterclass from Saquon, the O-line, and the defense. Kellen made sure Jalen Hurts was not going to mess it up. Vic is my Lord and Savior.
A backhanded slap, Brian. I feel you, brother. I mean, that's exactly what happened. Hey,
doesn't Brian sound like he's been listening to Big Sills for 4 years?
I love Brian Pumper, man. Great stuff, Brian. Good stuff there, Brian. Hey, Brian, just make sure you don't put it in Hurts' hands. You're going to win every week.
Sean Mims checks in. Davis and Carter with big push in the middle. Nolan and Baum balled too. Zach Baum just continues. Dude, he just continues to dominate games. I mean, how about that tackle of Henry in the backfield on that play early in the game? I mean, he just continues to show up.
So you think holding Baltimore 170 yards rushing was a good day?
I think holding them to 12 points of offense was 12 points on the board was an excellent day.
Okay, I know you want to move this. Do you think holding Baltimore to 170 yards rushing is a good day?
Yes, it was a great day.
I do too.
Yeah.
You know why? Because that guy could traditionally just bust one off on you and get 175 yards on you, and so can the other guy. You held them to under 200 yards rushing. Yes, I think that's a good day against a team like I do. Against a team like that, yeah, I do.
Sometimes you just make me want to jump through the screen and
here's Zander going, yeah, you know, they really balled out. And the guy were averaging 5 yards a carry. I mean,
12 points in the modern NFL. And Big Sills is trying to tell you the defense.
No, I know. Everybody, you know, it's like they had 170 yards rushing.
John's calling these guys the second coming of the greatest show on turf, and we held them to 12 points. And Sills
wait a minute here.
Everybody, don't believe your eyes. The defense actually played.
Wait a minute here. Wait a minute. The Ravens ran for 5 yards a carry and they had 170 yards rushing. Zander tells you they balled out.
They balled out. King of Philly said Fangio is the real deal. No Graham, no Slay. Blankenship was out second half. That's true. No Slay, no Graham, and Blankenship did miss that second half with a concussion. I would assume he'll be all right. He got rattled on that deep throw down the field, which was another terrible throw, by the way. That was 4 guys, not triple coverage, 4 guys, quadruple coverage that Lamar Jackson threw into. That Blankenship got hurt on that.
He did that at least 3 or 4 times.
I don't know why he did. What was he thinking there? I don't know what.
Watching the game going, why are you throwing in the triple coverage like that? I still can't get over
that one play was quadruple coverage, literally. I mean, I
still can't get over 5 yards, 5.5 yards of carry and 170 yards, and Zander goes, that's a ball out day. How you doing? All right.
Pizzaltz checks in. The Coop slam on Henry proved how hardened this defense is now. Somebody needs to make a meme on X of, you know, Cooper picking up Derrick Henry, and you put Sills' face on Derrick Henry, and then pick the Eagles and just drilling them into the ground. Every time Derrick Henry
touched the ball, he went for 5 yards. I don't know why they didn't give it to him more.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. There was moments there where I thought that Lamar and Todd Monken were just going to pick apart that quarter zone defense, but they didn't go to it, and it wasn't as reliable as I thought it would be for them.
Dude, that downfield passing game they have is not good.
I know it's all off script. It's all off script.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's all ad lib shit, man.
Yeah.
I mean, didn't it look like it was like schoolyard playground stuff all over the place?
Yeah, it did. That's Lamar Jackson. The Lord's grace checks in. Pump the brakes. I won't get fooled again. Hurts is depending on everybody else, but Saquon is having a Barry Sanders type of year.
Yes, he is.
Lord's grace. Too much Sileo.
Hey,
He's
they
been
don't have
Sileo-ized.
They don't have to depend on Hurts. 6 passes and hand it off, and here. Like I said, you know what he is? He's a mailman.
Look at this guy.
Hey, during the holidays, this guy's like the mailman who's going to be handing it to Barkley. Hey, Barkley, help me win games. That's it right there. Don't drop the mail. Hand it to the mailbox, and then get out of the way. Good night. Go home.
Look at this guy. He makes his name Derek DeJean. Hurts, big pass to Dallas, a 19-yard run got us the win, end of the game drive. Winner. Good stuff, Derek. JH checks in. I'm only 38 years old, but I have to say, seeing 3 running backs succeed this much in 24 makes me so happy. Yeah. And our defense, can't believe it. Yeah, I think he's talking about Henry.
You know what? Xander brought the point up. Do
Jake.
you think there's going to be a renaissance in bringing the run game back? But I'll tell you, hey,
who's available?
Dude, but wait a minute. The teams that are really the prominent teams right now in running the ball, Kansas City's got a good running attack going right now. You got Detroit with a good running attack. You got Green Bay with a good running attack. Shit, you even got Minnesota with a good running attack outside of Philadelphia, obviously. Those are your teams that are all going to be in the mix at the end.
Yeah, no doubt. It's a good point, man. We'll see what happens with it. Shark says, no Reed, no Slay, no BG, no Smitty. Put some respect on Hurts and Sirianni's name. Good job, Kellen and Vic. Super Bowl to all the haters. Shark, got to take it one game at a time. But I will say, in Nick's press conference, he was vouching for Jalen Hurts to get MVP votes as well. So maybe he's trying to make Hurts feel a little better about Saquon.
The most valuable postal man, Hurts.
Oh, come on.
Dude, hold on. Let me see where he is right now. Let's see. Oh, good. Now he's on pace for 3,400 passing yards. And wait a I mean, this guy's so elite. It's incredible. Incredible, man. Yeah. Continue, please. By the way, I don't want to talk about Jalen. He was a non-factor. I want to talk about the star of the game, which is Saquon and the defense and the O-line and the coordinators. Talk about the stars of the game. Don't talk about somebody who's irrelevant.
This is football, son. This is a quarterback-driven league.
Your team's not a quarterback-driven team.
Sure they are.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah.
The guy who touches the ball every single play.
Wait a minute. No, your team looks like it's a driven team by your quarterback. Oh, hey, anybody in here believes that?
Come on. Jalen made plays when he needed to make plays.
Out of the 18 they gave him, he did a nice job.
Yeah, but why do you want so bad for him to not be a game manager?
I'm not ripping him. All I'm saying is he's not the star of the team. The star of the team's the running back.
Sileo,
is he not?
You wouldn't know ripping if
is he not? Is the star of the team the running back?
The star of the team is Saquon Barkley for sure, and AJ.
Okay.
Yeah, and AJ.
Okay.
And AJ. We'll be talking to John McMullen shortly here. I think he's waiting on Jalen Hurts should be wrapping up, so we'll talk to John in just a second here. Waiting on Johnny Mack. We'll talk. Look at Sileo. It's Corona time. 5:43 on the West Coast, and that means a Corona time for Big Sills.
Oh my God!
Green eggs and ham says, so we're running the table, or is Sills going to keep stressing out? Oh, look at him. I'm surprised he's got all that hair left. Green eggs.
Are you under the impression that my year-end predictions will not come to fruition like they have the last 4 years? Oh, ye of little faith. Hang in there with Big Sills. I'll show you what happens. I'll show you.
Wait, is that what you tried to do with the you tried to pull a Sirianni and reverse the juju on the Eagles, and maybe they would lose if you shaved off the goatee?
No, actually, I wanted to look more respectable for my daughter and for myself and look a little bit better here because I was looking a little bit angry having to talk to certain Eagle fans every day. And I wanted to seemingly have a good disposition and look decent, so I that's kind of more what I did because I didn't want to look angry. Look at this. Can't compare Hurts to Aikman, but Barkley compared to Adrian Peterson is okay. You're now comparing Saquon Barkley to Adrian Peterson. Really?
I think their talent levels might be comparable.
Never happened.
No, you don't think Saquon's that talented?
No, not. Zander, don't you think
I'm not talking about career. I know Adrian Peterson.
Oh, okay. Well, then don't you think you have to do
about pure talent level of football? Pure football talent.
Yeah, but those are people that live up to talent too. You think Minnesota was a superstar team when he played up there? Do you think he played on superstar Minnesota teams?
No, they weren't. They weren't superstar. You're not wrong about that.
And this guy put up 2,000, 1,800. I mean, he went. I mean, come on, man. Look, for me, that's a hard question because you're like this. You don't think he has the same talent as Adrian Peterson? No, that guy did it for 12 years. This guy's done it for 12 games.
Look at Tyler.
How can you compare a guy's career in 12 games versus a guy who's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer?
I'm not comparing their careers. I'm talking about the talent level of the players.
Don't
career, it's not a competition. I mean,
but don't you think talent level has to play consistently year in and year out?
Well, it does, but a team certainly have some impact on that. I mean, the New York Football Giants are literally the bottom dregs of the NFL society. They are unbecoming of even our reference here on this JAKIB Postgame Show.
I know, man.
I'm not gonna dock Saquon for that, especially when the first year you put him in a competent football team and a competent organization, he does this. Now, I'm not saying he's Adrian Peterson or he's going to have that type of career, but I do think he has that type of talent.
I mean, here's Peterson had 3,000 plus yards in his first 2 years rushing, 1,341, 1,730, 1,383, 1,396, 2,097, 1,400 yards, 1,480. I mean, come on, man. What are we going here? I'm not going to compare Saquon Barkley to Adrian Peterson because it's not a fair comparison. Now, I will say this, that the New York Giants completely wasted what could have been a spectacular career. If that's where you're going, Zander, where he has the kind of talent where he could have put those numbers up on a better football team, that you're in the conversation with. I'm with you.
Yeah, I agree. Tyler Conger checks in. J-Mac isn't here, so I can say this without making his head explode. Hurts is the weak link of this team, 11 of 19, 118 yards passing. The blind squirrel found a few nuts to extend a couple drives. Sounds like he's been Sileo-ized too.
I am. Oh, I see. So wait, a guy agrees with me. He's Sileo-ized. Oh
yeah. No. What else would that mean?
Tyler, you watch the same game I do. Hey, I'll tell you what. Philadelphia has two great running backs. Two great running backs.
What do you mean? Jalen Hurts hasn't even
Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts had like 30 yards running today.
Saquon Barkley had almost as many total yards today as Jalen Hurts had throwing the ball and running the ball.
Many people on here are saying that Sileo actually on his phone during the live show made that comment himself. Tyler Conger is a Sileo burner.
Here, let me put it to you this way there, Junior. I don't waste my time on stuff like that, because I'm not that smart. You're taking and putting me in there saying that I sit around with burner accounts. Who the hell do you think hey, wait a minute. Who do you think I am? Mark Farzetta? Give me a break.
Oh, well, how's Farzy catching a stray right now?
Sorry, Farzy.
Carlos says, honest question, how do all those holds on Carter go uncalled? I mean, we all see it. Is it an unspoken thing that refs let it slide? Carlos,
when you're young like that, they do. And when you build the equity up, they'll start calling him more. Dude, I watched a ton of plays today where they were holding him on every play. And they were trying to do everything they could. I saw an illegal chop block on him, too, they didn't call. I saw them chop him, and they didn't call it. So, yeah.
So your concern level, though, of this passing game still seems to be very high.
Yeah, well, to win a Super Bowl, you're going to need it.
And you're not confident. You're not confident yet that they'll be able to do it.
I think they're going to get through the NFC. They may get through the NFC. I think when you run into Detroit, that's going to be the question. Can you can you get into a situation where both offenses are not playing well in the run game? Are you going to be able to overcome it in the pass game? Because quite frankly, I thought Hurts was going to have to make more plays in the pass game. He made enough of them today because I thought Lamar didn't make any really plays in the pass game today. I didn't really think he was good. And by the way,
What'd you think of Quinyon Mitchell today?
I think that has a lot to do with the way Vic defended him.
Yeah, agreed. What'd you think of Quinyon Mitchell today?
I thought he was good. I don't think anybody threatened him. I think it was more physical than he thought because he got in there and he made some plays and he got nicked up a little bit. He made more plays in the run game. Zander, I'm telling you, the other kid on the other side, he's better. He's better.
Cooper DeJean?
Yeah, he's better. I think he's better. Now, do I think he's a true corner? No.
Yeah, they're playing different positions. I mean,
yeah, but I think he's more impactful out there. I just like him more because the way he runs the ball, the hits, he just look. How about this? In the last month, who do you think has made more impact plays?
Cooper probably Cooper.
Or Q?
Probably Cooper. Yeah, probably Cooper.
Okay. I mean, the last month and a half.
But isn't that tough to gauge because they're not really going at Quinyon that much because his coverage has been so good. So it's easier to make a play when the ball coming your way.
Well, if your eyes are telling you think that guy looks better and has been more of an impact on the defense than what?
No, that's not my eyes are telling me. My eyes are telling me it's Cooper DeJean. But I'm adding in context of is it because my eyes aren't going to Quinyon because they're not throwing the ball to him.
I just like DeJean. I think DeJean's playing better.
The DeJean is an impressive pick. Or an impressive player, no doubt. Johnny Mac coming up now, so we'll talk to John McMullen shortly from M&T Bank Stadium. Looking forward to talking to John and getting his takeaway on this game. I have a feeling he's going to be a little concerned about the passing game as well. We will see what he has to say. Wishbone, can't compare her. Oh, we already read that one. We got it. Let's give Hurts love this week. No turnovers, NOG game.
Congratulations for doing your gig and not turning the ball over. I'll even give you a Howie white shoes move. Yeah, good job, Howie.
A checks in. Hurts is a better passer than Lamar, and whenever his first read was taken, Lamar struggled. I don't know if I could say Jalen's a better passer than Lamar. Lamar is 3,000 passing yards right now.
That's a stupid ass comment.
No, but I think to A's point, you do see moments in Lamar's game where you're like, how the hell did he miss that throw? And it happens, and you know.
My problem was
good.
Triple coverage. I mean, how many times did he throw into triple coverage, Zander? 4, 5? Yeah. Dude, even the pass and the TD pass to Mark Andrews in the end zone had 4 guys around him. You know, I mean, it was just all over the place.
Yeah, no doubt. We got John McMullen joining now, waiting for the connection to get up. There he is. I got Johnny Mac now. We'll be joined now by John McMullen live from M&T Bank Stadium here on the JAKIB Postgame Show. Johnny Mac, welcome into the show, my friend. Birds get the win. Their 8th straight victory. They moved to 10-2, a 24-19 victory over the Baltimore Ravens. Your first takeaways, John McMullen.
Pretty impressive performance, especially defensively. And then the fourth quarter continues to be a strength for the Philadelphia Eagles, mainly in the run game and that 4-minute offense. You think about that, the drive that essentially won the game for them. There was one big third down conversion that Dallas got it, which was a big play. I don't want to take away from it. But then it was, I think, 14 yards, Saquon Barkley, 11 yards, Jalen Hurts, and then 25 yards for the touchdown. So it's like, you know, and this is one of the more physical teams in the NFL, and the Eagles still wore them down in the fourth quarter. So it was pretty impressive from a defensive performance. Look, the passing game's still not there. It's tough to complain about things when you're winning 8 straight games. You're 10-2, 252 total yards. I don't know what the passing yards, like 118 or something like that. I mean, the passing game is still a problem, but, man, they just win football games. And this defense, look, I talked about it all week. The Ravens came into this game averaging 6.97 yards per play. and they held him to, I think it was 5.2, which may not sound that good, but that's pretty good when they come in. Yeah. And Derrick Henry's averaging 6 yards a carry. I'm looking at him. He was down to 4.3. Lamar Jackson, 117.9 passer rating. He was down to 101.3. You know, that's the standard. And they're holding, that defense is holding everybody underneath their standard. And remember, this game, they were down 9-0. Justin Tucker point, he really struggled for Baltimore. But, you know, we were talking about if they get down 2 scores, didn't matter because the defense didn't waver. And the offense, same thing. First 4 drive total of 22 yards, and then they got it started. And that's sort of it. It's stop and start with the offense, but the defense is pretty consistent.
Yeah, no doubt.
How about this, John?
Yeah, John?
I mean, at the end of the day, like you said, those numbers aren't really far off their season totals. I mean, special teams came down to where they lost 7 points, 2 field goals and an extra point there. And if you looked at the numbers, they ran 71 plays to 54 plays. They pretty much shut that offense down outside of Saquon Barkley. I mean, it wasn't anything offensively that was really special, but the 71 plays, and I'm with you, John, in this, that defense, they created pressure. They were able to make plays, especially on third down, even though they hung around the 50% mark, did Baltimore in this game. But, I mean, if you look at the team numbers, John, I mean, they had total offense at 372 to 252. As I said, they had 71 plays to 54 plays, and they ran the ball for almost 170 yards at 166 at 5.2 a carry between Lamar and Henry. I mean, what really came down to it was the defense made plays on third down when they had to get them off the field. And special teams, in my opinion, played a factor for the Ravens. And some of the decision-making, John, that Lamar had, how many times did he throw into triple coverage? I mean, I thought his passing game was all over the place, and I got to hand it to Vic. I think that has a lot to do with Vic.
He didn't have a great game.
Cleaning him up.
Yeah, and I think it had a lot to do with the pass rush as well, which I was concerned about coming in because first game without Brandon Graham. Jalen Carter, we got in that discussion. Zander and I got in that discussion. Is A.J. Brown the best player on the Eagles? Is Saquon Barkley the best player? I'm starting to think Jalen Carter's the best player on the Eagles. Right? I mean, he's wrecking games.
John, he was held.
So I'm going to put him in the conversation.
John, he was held every play.
Yeah, I mean, he's just dominating to a degree we haven't seen in a long time. And we talk about game records on defense, the most notable guys, Myles Garrett, TJ Watt. Eagles haven't had that kind of player. They have that kind of player now. Jalen Carter can wreck a game. And I think that's part of it. The thing about quarterbacks, I think everybody, the old school, when you played, Dan, and it wasn't as safety conscious, somebody might even tell you to go hit the quarterback early and see if you can rattle them a little bit. And, it still goes on today, and I think it still exists. There were 3 throws, which you can see when you're at the stadium. Lamar missed wide open receivers. I mean, they were running free, and he just missed them. And I'm starting to think maybe, he got whacked a couple times early, and maybe he's feeling it, and maybe he's not feeling right, or he's a little bit hurried or whatever. So you never know how that affects a quarterback. I'll tell you, he was not himself today, and you have to give the Eagles defense a lot of credit. I think Vic's a part of it, given the different looks, as you said, making them throw in zone coverages and double coverages. And I think that pass rush is a big part of it as well, because when he held the ball, when he hesitated, that pass rush was right there. And there were a number of times when he didn't even have to hesitate, and Jalen Carter was all over him.
John, I want you to do your best to diagnose for me, from your eyes, what is going on in the first quarter of games. Because if we remove first quarters from this season, this might be one of the most historic football teams of all time with the way they play. And, you brought up the defense and how much they are. There was 2 opportunities for the Ravens to blow that game open in the first quarter with 4 straight punts by the Eagles offense. And the Ravens were up 9. They could have went up 16. They could have went up even by 20 if they capitalized on all of those possessions. The defense held strong, and then the second quarter came, and all right, the Eagles offense remembered how to get going again, and just like that, they went on their way. What is going on in that first quarter, John? Why can't they figure it out?
Well, when they did get it started, it was the Braden man punt down to the 1 yard line. So Sidney Brown downed it at the 1 yard line, and the Eagles were able to get a 3 and out. So they flipped the field. By the way, it's one of those throws. Zay Flowers was wide open for a 3rd down conversion. Lamar Jackson threw it at his feet. So anyway, they get a 3 and out. They they flip the field. They get great field position. They start on the plus 49. And then they went to the RPO and tempo combined. So I asked Jalen Hurts about that. I'm like, it seems like when they go to tempo, they start to play better. So I'm like, there's no law that says you can't play tempo right out of the gates. Nobody can explain the soft starts by the offense. We've asked the Eagles 100 different ways. We've asked Nick Sirianni, Jalen Hurts, Kellen Moore. Everybody's trying to fix it. They just start slowly offensively. Today, Saquon got a run on the first drive, and that was it. Then they punted after getting 1 first down. Total of those first 4 drives you mentioned, 22 yards until they flipped the field on that Braden man punt. Then it was like touchdown. It's like, what? Late wake-up calls. I can't explain it other than, teams aren't worn out early. So it's going to be a little bit more difficult to run consistently, even with Saquon. They're not worn out at that point. And the passing game we've talked about is not consistent. It's clunky. It's a word we always use. Sometimes it's there, sometimes it isn't. So until you start to wear on people with that run game, which you really can't do in the first quarter, I think they have trouble starting. I think it's tied to that because right now they don't pass the ball well, and especially without Devontae Smith. Now, I asked Nick a question in the post-game presser about the fourth quarter running game, and he used it as a tangent to go into Jalen Hurts managing these games, calling him an MVP candidate. I don't know. But the passing game is not there. It is
There's
not
no
there,
reason to have to sell
except
Jalen
for the
Hurts.
second quarter and A.J. Brown, and then they don't go back to it.
Hey, John, there's no reason to have to sell.
That's what
there's no reason to have to sell Jalen Hurts when your team's 10-2. I mean, you don't have to oversell it.
Well, you would think, but but you know how people are when you look at the box score, and I'm looking at it right here, and he's 11 of 19 for 118 yards. I mean, people are going to shit on that. People who only look at this and don't watch the game are going to shit on that. So I kind of understand why he's doing it, because there's so many other things about Jalen Hurts, like that third down conversion to Dallas Goedert, in between the 14-yard run by Saquon and the 25-yard touchdown run was an 11-yard Jalen Hurts keeper. That was a big part. I always talk about his relentlessness, but you know how many people just look at stats, and that's all they look at. And they look at a quarterback who throws for 118 yards and think, oh, he had a shitty game. He really didn't have a shitty game. They were limited. They were limited without Devontae Smith. And they're at this stage, they have scaled back to being a run-first team. And I keep saying, at some point, they're going to have to win a football game throwing the football, because I believe that. But, I mean, we're running out of time. And I don't see where it's going to happen in the regular season. I mean, who's going to make him throw the football in the regular season with who's left on the schedule?
No, John, the season is running out, but you're going to be running into the good teams here real soon. And I'm not saying Baltimore's not. I'm not saying
for
that.
The playoffs, though, Sills, is what you're
I'm not saying that, though, but by the end of the year, you're most likely going to have the 30th ranked offensive passing game in the league and the number one running attack in the league. And with that kind of unbalance, when you get into the postseason, are you going to be able to win a Super Bowl with that? Is going to be the number one question, because I've never heard that before.
Yeah. I mean, well, the defense is a part of it as well.
It is.
The defense has been better than the offense, which, I would have never predicted that, but it's pretty consistent. And, as I said, I don't know why, maybe it's clicking for Jalen Carter, but he has turned the corner from being a really talented player to being a dominant player. Somebody would show flashes from somebody who's wrecking games. And I think that's a big step forward. Zach Bond is one of the great stories in the NFL this year, making plays again all over the place. Slay's not playing. Isaiah Rodgers had a good game. And tackling. He tackled Lamar Jackson. He tackled Derrick Henry in the open field. Cooper DeJean tackling Derrick Henry. Tristan McCullum's got to come in for Reed Blankenship, who got a concussion. He should have had an interception. CJ was making fun of him and said, we'll have it a bucket Sunday. Catch the buck and ball is what CJ said. He would have had an interception. It's the defense has been off the charts, and it keeps getting better and better.
John, you talk about that defense, and then you add in Saquon Barkley. Well, those are the two reasons that I'm feeling okay about the passing game right now, because when you have a defense that's playing that good and stopping teams, and you have a closer like Saquon Barkley, perhaps you can make up for a little bit of a lesser in the passing game. Sileo, on the other hand, doesn't believe we can win the Super Bowl without the passing game. Where do you fall on that spectrum right now? And is that changing where you are on that spectrum?
Well, it's changing a little bit, but I don't think you can win a Super Bowl throwing for 118 yards. So it's got to get somewhat better. And the thing that I think is frustrating is, like, not today because Devontae's not out there, but when Devontae's out there and AJ's out there and Dallas is out there, like, there's no reason you shouldn't have a really good passing game. So I think that's part of the more head scratching than anything else. And especially you bring in Kellen Moore's got the reputation for being, he's had 2 number 1 offenses and they threw the ball all over the place. Like, what the hell? What's missing? What's missing? And I think the Eagles are trying to figure out what's missing on top of it.
And that's why Nick's overselling it.
We were just talking about, for some reason, because of our 3.5 hour car ride down here, which should take 90 minutes at best. We were talking about, Ben Roethlisberger in his first Super Bowl. For people that remember, had a terrible Super Bowl, terrible. And they won the Super Bowl. And I don't know, I'd have to look up the exact yardage. They won a Super Bowl with Jerome Bettis leading the running game, not that far off. But even if you look at it that way, all right, maybe you can win one game, and maybe it's the divisional round, maybe it's the NFC Championship game, maybe it's the Super Bowl. Maybe you can win one game like that, but you can't win 3 games like that. I think that's what Dan is saying.
Exactly, John.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Maybe you can win 1, but to win consistently that way, and Zander, I was talking about margin error.
Doesn't the defense help bridge that
you know,
gap?
it's not the fearsome foursome. I mean, it's a great defense.
I know, but John, you
it's
just
not
got
the
done telling me on the
purple
pregame
leaders.
show. You just got done telling me in the pregame show that this Ravens team is second to only the greatest show on turf, Rams.
They didn't
And
have
we just
an
held them
awful
to
night.
12 fucking points.
I got the points, but Zander, you're making it look like you shut them down. You didn't.
Well,
I mean,
They scored 19. Now, part of that was garbage time.
Listen,
but they did have. Look, they were moving the football pretty consistently. To Dan's point, they're the one. They had 372 yards compared to 252 for the Eagles total offense, and I'm telling you, there was a he missed Isaiah Likely would have been a 40-yard gain. Zay Flowers on that third down, probably 10 yards. He missed I forget who. I think it was Zay Flowers again. Missed him downfield, would have been 30. Big play down the field. You know, and again, Justin Tucker, if it were the first 14 years of his career, even if you're getting backed up, even if no, he's making those kicks, is what I'm saying. So if he was the normal Justin Tucker, add 7 points, you know, automatic, add 7 points to the. So there is some, you know, Nick was talking about hidden yardage with Britton Covey catching punts versus that goofball Baltimore had who couldn't do anything right in the punting game, and how much that means, because that's like if you let a punt drop instead of catching it, you may lose 15 to 20 yards of field position. It's not the box score. Nobody talks about it, but that's the kind of hidden stuff. Like you're looking at the box score and saying, well, Tucker missed 3 kicks and this guy missed 3 passes he usually makes. And you get a little bit comfortable. I mean, they got a lot of yards and they just didn't convert and score. And the Eagles, their red zone defense was off the charts because they kept stopping them. And then they pushed Lamar Jackson back with that 14-yard sack. That's a brutal sack for a quarterback to take. Yeah. But, I mean, the defense deserves credit for it. I'm just saying, Zander, they moved the football. They moved the football.
That's fair.
And they weren't able to convert.
No doubt about it. John, how much has this game pushed you in the direction of this team as a legitimate Super Bowl contender? Maybe it's what it is and it hasn't changed at all. This game
they were
anything for
already,
you?
They already were a legitimate Super Bowl contender. But yeah, they've never won here before. Another game, you know, Cincinnati earlier. But this is a really high-level organization that everybody has respect for. Really difficult place to play historically. And they beat them. And they beat them, you know, in the fourth quarter. And think about in the fourth quarter at M&T Bank Stadium with Lamar Jackson on the field and Derrick Henry on the field, Saquon Barkley's getting MVP chance. I mean, yeah, I think this is a signature regular season win. But, you know, the Eagles have gotten to the point with their 10-1 starts and their 9-2 starts and now 10-2. They're used to this. Like, they don't really care about beating Baltimore on Thanksgiving weekend. To them, it's just another step in the process. I mean, they want to go to the Super Bowl, and anything less than the Super Bowl would be a disappointment for this organization.
Good stuff, Johnny Mac. Your final thoughts before we let you get out of here, get home safe tonight, my man. We'll talk to you in the morning on Birds 365. Your final thoughts on what the Eagles did today, their 8th straight win, moved to 10-2 on the year. Another win in the column, Johnny Mac.
Dare we say, Nick Sirianni would yell at me for this, but who cares? I don't have to abide by his rules. Dare we say 15-2? Because why shouldn't this team run the table in the regular season?
15
and if they do that, Detroit's going to lose somewhere.
Yeah, they got Buffalo coming up too.
Yeah, and they got Minnesota coming up and Green Bay coming up.
Green Bay Thursday. Green Bay Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday night. They might lose that game. They have so many injuries. The one thing, the Eagles are starting to get some injuries as well. Ben Van Sumeren got hurt at practice. He's out for the season. Johnny Wilson wasn't playing, which is not a big deal. But when you talk about the running game and him being a blocking receiver, a little bit of that. Reed Blankenship got another concussion. Jacoby Dean got banged up, saw him going to get an x-ray, but he came back in the game, so that's positive. Britton got hurt again, was talking to him. He seems fine. But it's that time of year when they're starting to get a little bit more banged up.
Yeah, we'll see how the injuries go. Johnny Mac, great stuff, man. We appreciate it. We'll talk to you in the morning on Birds 365. Good stuff, Johnny Mac.
Thanks, John.
All right, thanks, guys. See ya.
All right, good stuff there from Johnny Mac from M&T Bank in Baltimore. So good stuff there from Johnny Mac. I gotta let Sills go. I know I'm into his Corona time.
I wrote something down here. 40-11 over the last 3 years. Boy, it's Super Bowl or bust.
Yeah, look, you just heard John say it too. I mean, that's where we are. You're not wrong.
Agree? It's Super Bowl or bust. You go 15-2 and you have 11-6 and then a 14-3 record. This is Super Bowl or bust, dude.
It is.
This is not hanging around the rim here.
No, you're right. You're right. You are absolutely right. I got one super chat I'm going to read to you. I got a bunch, but I'm not going to keep you here for all of them. Let me just get to this one here. It's a $20 one. Big Fish. Thank you, brother. We appreciate all the support today on the show from everybody. How many likes are we up to, by the way? We got to get close to 1,000 likes for 8 straight wins. 634. Not too bad. Big Fish says, Jalen now beat all of your dog and pony show QBs, Sills. No more BS garbage time stat excuses. A win's a win.
Okay, one more time. Those players carry their team. Your guy is carried.
It is a different comp. You can't compare the
I mean,
it's not
this guy's making it sound like he's beating somebody with 104 yards passing. Give me a break, guy. You know what he is? He's a guy that sits on the bus. He's not a bus driver. How you doing?
What'd you call him? You called him a mailman? Was it a mailman?
Yeah, he's a mailman.
Yeah, somebody commented. One of our great viewers on JAKIB said, "Hey, I'm a UPS driver. I'm a USPS driver."
That's what he is. He's a UPS
Why is Sills coming for me? I'm like, I didn't need
this guy should work at Amazon. They're on strike now. They need people delivering Christmas packages.
Oh my God. All right, Sills, your final thoughts, man. 8 straight, moved to 10-2. I thought the way you started it was good. Your final thoughts on this post-game show.
Great win. Great win. The defense is really good. And get this, the coordinator is as good as it gets, Zander. Hey, dude, if you're the Miami Dolphins, you fired that guy? Really? You fired Vic Fangio, or you wanted him out of there so that, I mean, holy cow. Saquon, hey, couple things too, man. Barkley, AJ, the defense. I mean, Kellen Moore figuring it out. Got to tell you, it's the best win in 2 years. It's the best win in 2 years, man. In Baltimore, too.
Really? You're going that over the game in Buffalo last year and multiple overtime?
It's Buffalo at home. Yeah. This is better than that win. Yes, this is better than that win.
Okay. That's a big win there. Big Sills. Good stuff, man. We'll talk to you tomorrow morning. Or not tomorrow.
Yes, we will. And boy, I got something for you tomorrow, 2 to 6.
By the way, 118 passing yards isn't enough.
You have got a great running back, man. Holy cow, and a great defense. The National Football Show tomorrow. It's a must listen and view. We will see you then. Zander, all kidding aside, that's a really great win. Super win. It's a super win, and everybody in Philadelphia should be really getting excited about this football team around the holidays, because I'll tell you what, they just may deliver. 40-11, they better deliver.
Did you don't everybody, before we let the Grinch go, don't let the Grinch steal Christmas, okay?
Oh, no.
Big Sil, we're going to be 12-2.
I won't be stealing.
And Sills will be crying and telling you why your team sucks and all. Don't let the Grinch steal Christmas.
The only person that will steal the Super Bowl Christmas present will be the head coach on the sidelines. How you doing?
You mean the guy with the Hall of Fame resume through his first 3 years?
Hall of Fame resume. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's what I see with him.
Yeah, top 5 in
Hall of
NFL
Fame.
history in winning percentage. And by the way, that got better today.
Well, now he's a Hall of Fame coach.
I said trajectory. Trajectory.
Trajectory. Okay, Elon.
Okay, brother. I'll talk to you tomorrow. All right, man?
I'll catch you tomorrow. Zander, great stuff, man. I appreciate everybody. We'll catch you 2 to 6 tomorrow on the National Football Show.
All right. Good stuff from Big Sills. Thanks, Sills, for checking in. Good stuff from Johnny Mack, who also checked in. The 2 great people who make up JAKIB, me, Dan Sileo, and Johnny Mack. Love them both. Don't agree with them. I thought John was good today. Sills, is Sills a little grumpy, guys? Am I smelling a little bit of grump on Big Sills right now? Aunt Betty, if you're listening, maybe you can tell Sills I'm sensing some grumpiness. Does that have anything to do with the 8-game win streak for the Philadelphia Eagles? Maybe it does. Maybe it's Brian Pumper who's making him a little bit grumpy. I don't know. I'm sensing a little bit of grumpiness. Maybe I'm off base on that. I'm not sure. Good stuff from Big Sills and Johnny Mack today. Everybody, that's a big win. That's a big win. I don't care what is said about passing yards. I don't care what is said about this or that. That is a good win. You go into Baltimore in December and you knock off Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry and the Ravens in a physical football game. You know what keeps becoming more and more prominent to me about when I watch this team, when I think about this team is they're just more physical than teams for longer. Baltimore came out. They were good. They matched the physicality. They were there for the first couple of drives. You get into that second quarter, they slipped off a little bit. You get into that second half. They can't hang with the physicality of the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles right now are built to do it for 4 straight quarters. Every other team has not been able to match that. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out late in the year. Here, I want to thank everybody for being here. I'm going to get to all Super Chats coming up after the break. J.H., Schmidt Degler, Brian Fleming's in here, Tyler, Anthony Wilson, Fly Parks. We appreciate everybody for all the Super Chats. I'm going to get to all of them coming up after the break. When I do that, I will do that, and then we'll talk to the post-game show. We will bring on a couple of the great people of JAKIB Nation here on the post-game show and get their takeaway from the game. So looking forward to doing that. Don't let the Grinch steal Christmas. Stay tuned, everybody. I'll be back in 3 minutes for the post-game show coming up next.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The following is a real testimonial from the father of a young injured victim.
I didn't think she was going to make it.
Major Perry's daughter was the victim of a horrific accident caused by someone else's negligence.
If you don't find the right counselor, law firm that you're looking for, you will get lost in the wilderness.
Badly injured? Call the Fritz and Bianculli Law Firm at 215-458-2222 and find out why they say, "We got this."
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong as the #1 health insurer in the region. No IBX is always looking out for you.
We noticed that there was mold creeping into our basement about a year and a half ago, and wanted to make sure that we were getting rid of the problem permanently. We actually reached out to several different contractors to get it resolved, and actually 2 of them recommended DryTech to us as a long-term solution. Other than the noise factor, we wouldn't even know that there was work being done on the basement level. It's really been a clean process for us.
Score and save this football season on your car insurance. Before the next game, save up to 40% on your auto insurance policy. That's right, 40% savings. Call an audible this season and contact the Del Val Insurance Group. They're an advocate for you, not an insurance company. That means they'll get you the right coverage and save you up to 40%. Call managing partners Fran or Jim of Del Val Insurance, 215-354-0122, or score and save at dvigi.com. dvigi.com.
EAGLES, Eagles.
Welcome back in, everybody, to the post-game show here on JAKIB Sports. The time where we hear from Eagles Nation, Eagles fans, the voice of the fan segment coming up here in a little bit. I will get the link out for everybody for you guys to join me. Hopefully some of you guys, maybe we'll have some fresh faces in here. I'm sure we'll talk to some of the usuals as well. So looking forward to doing that. Before I do that, I do want to get let me go to this comment here. I'm going to go to all the super chats first because I want to get to them. I know we have some that we will get to that I have not gotten to. So I will get to them, and then we will do the people from postgame. I want to go to this. I spoke with Aunt Betty, and Sills being grumpy has nothing to do with the Eagles winning. He's a football guy. He loves the fans and Philly and JAKIB Nation. You know, Elizabeth, I maybe am calling some bullshit on that one as the Birds keep winning. And Sills play the Crow is looking like a Thanksgiving plate now. Thing's got Crow on there. It's got Raven on there. He's got some leftover turkey legs. He's got all sorts of stuff on his plate piling up. Good stuff there. Looking forward to seeing the rest of the season and how it plays out. You know, we'll all be waiting to hear what Sileo says next. Fly Parks checks in. Xander, you broadcasting live from New Orleans. Boy, would that be a treat, Fly Parks. I will have to see if that's something that we can make happen with a press pass or whatever it would be, but no plans yet, Fly Parks. I'll keep you posted, brother. JH says, Jalen Hurts, 22 playoffs, throws 154 versus Giants, 121 versus 49ers, and balled out in the Super Bowl. Our defense is even better now. What's the problem? I mean, can you put it any better than that? Can you put it any better than JH just did? Every game is different. Just because he throws 118 today doesn't mean he doesn't know how to throw the football. I mean, come on. We got to take everything with it. You got to keep the context present. JH, great point, brother. Thank you, man. Schmidt Diggler. I often say that this is my favorite name of anybody in the chat on the channel because it's just fun to say. And he's a member, so thank you, Diggler, for being a member. Schmidt Diggler says, let's be real about it. What's missing from the passing game is a quarterback who can read a D and throw people open. Unless a guy is wide open, usually he can't hit them. The big runs do not make up for it. I don't agree with that entirely, Schmidt. I mean, how about that third down throw to Dallas Goedert? That was pretty good coverage. There. He threw that ball right where it needed to be thrown on the run. Goedert got it and picked up the first down. So, look, is there moments where Jalen misses throws? Yeah. I just watched Lamar Jackson, widely regarded as the greatest player on planet Earth, miss players. So I don't entirely agree with your assessment, but I mean, yeah, you pointed out some of Jalen's deficiencies for sure. Brian Fleming says, I'll give the passing game this. Jalen to AJ over the middle of the field made my balls wet. Been calling for it forever. Brian, you're right. I mean, that whole touchdown drive in the second quarter, Brian, was over the middle of the field. Over the middle. And they punched it in finally. So it's a good point by you. Big Fish, I already mentioned that. Big Fish, thank you for that, man. We appreciate it. Tyler Conger, he says, see, that's how far low the bar is for Hurts. No turnovers. This dude can't win a game with his arm. Tyler, we've seen him win a game with his arm, but I hear you. I mean, you're right. What you're saying makes sense because you put in another super chat about the passing, and I responded by saying, look, he was good. He had no turnovers today. So I hear what you're saying. the bar for a $50 million quarterback should not be no turnovers. It should be making plays. It should be making your team better. It should be flowing the offense. It should be all these things. And I'm not denying them, but I think people have taken it to a little bit of an extreme. Big Fish says, Sills, your MVP's garbage time stats can't save him. Stats first wins. The choice is yours. I love it, Big Fish. Anthony Wilson, your 10-7 prediction is over, buddy. Stills a 2024 loser. Anthony, I know you'll be letting him hear it on the show. Appreciate it, brother. Already read that from Carlos. Thank you, man, on the Jalen Carter holds. Yeah, it is crazy. Already read that. Got that one. Thank you. Eagles Talk. Jalen Elite Carl Malone Hurts. I don't know where you got that nickname, but I like it. A says, Hurts is a better passer than Lamar. I already read that, but I don't agree, by the way. A, I'm sorry. I love you, brother. PR's Tavern says, Eagles don't sit back and let Lamar run for 40. They were in prevent. That 7 would still not have mattered in 170. Some of were junkyards. Yeah, I did mention that to Sills, but he didn't want to believe it. Park, thank you for the 5. You win. Says, Sileo, your lips are chapped, coming up with excuses. Give it up for Eagles hater. SMH. Cheapskate Coin says, let's give CJ some love, taking the defense aside at the end of the first quarter and telling them to play the way they know they can play. That was cool, Cheapskate. But I will say, he was aided. The whole defense was aided quickly by the field flipping and that one drive, the Ravens, they just had multiple penalties in a row and really took themselves off the field. So bad sack, I think, was in there. The Ravens kind of shot themselves in the foot early. T-Bone said, any given Sunday, awesome win, awesome playing. Kudos to coach. I now believe if respect has not been earned by now, it never will be. Go underdogs. I don't think they're underdogs, but T-Bone, that's a good point. I mean, if you don't respect what they've done by now, then you're never going to respect it. I mean, at this point, you either can look at what they've done as a football team, can look at Nick being 44, I think now, and 19, 44 and 19, and tip your cap to him, or you can take away from it and you're just going to stay on that side. Because if you're not giving any respect now, I think you just don't have it in you, which is fine. You're entitled to that thought process. Dio says Matt Marshall Lynch should have won 2 Super Bowls. Yeah, Marshawn, but yeah, good take. Stop looking at stats, Sills. Watch the damn game. I like to think you watch the game, Anthony. How does Big Salty Sills still have a job? Always wrong with his takes. Dean Bond Smith also picked Ravens, Washington Bengals. A monkey can do his job. What a stupid comment that is. What a seriously stupid comment. You not agreeing with Sileo's football takes is perfectly fine. But for you to sit there and act like you or anybody else could do what Sills does on a day-to-day basis for 4 hours, keep people entertained, talking, communicating, debating, chatting back to him, it's not so easy, my friend. It's not so easy. So disagree with his football takes, fine. Say a monkey can do his job, flat out stupid and utterly disrespectful. So for that reason, I'm not going to read any of your comments for the rest of the night. That was just flat out stupid, my dude. Dirty Air checks in. I'm a big Packers fan this week. If Packers win and we win, hello, 1 seed. Dirty Air, all of Philadelphia is a fan of the Packers this week. Because remember, we got the tiebreaker with with Green Bay too. Not that they're a threat for the 1, but we've already handled that business is the point. Good stuff. Neil McCauley checks in with $20 and no comment. Thank you for the $20, my man. I appreciate that. It means a lot. Nosti beats. Seattle won with Marshawn and a defense. Correct. F body guy. If Jalen was a better passer than runner, Sills would criticize him saying you have to be a mobile quarterback in today's NFL. F body guy, part of me thinks you're right. Alexander Harris says this team can win a Super Bowl because they have a great defense. Over the past 8 weeks, this team has proven they are tough to deal with. Yes, they have. No doubt. Anthony Wilson. Clearly, Sills does not watch the game. He says Hurts does not make plays. Hurts took over that second quarter. Boy, that's just pure hate coming out of you. I agree. I didn't agree with that take at all, that he doesn't make plays. I mean, come on. Ravens are not contenders. Only when Ravens play Eagles is their D not a contender. You might be right about that. Any more super chats? I'll get to the new ones. Sean Mims. Herbert is considered great, but he's stunk in a win versus Atlanta. Yeah, Herbert is one of those guys. It looks like it's all there, and then you watch him, and you're like, what's missing? I don't know. I don't get it. He's 6'6". He's got a huge arm, accurate. What else does he need? I don't know. Brian Pumper. Z, it's a successful day for me. My Eagles get the dub, and Jalen Hurts still looks inept. The Jalen Hurts Society is still worshiping a false prophet. Well, I don't worship any false prophets, Brian. All right, I worship Jesus Christ and Jesus Christ alone. But I appreciate you saying it's a win because the Eagles won. I disagree with your take on Jalen. Sean Mims, is Angelo still saying 5 wins? That ship sailed many weeks ago, Sean Mims. Appreciate it, brother. All right, let's do it. I'm going to drop the link, and you guys are going to join in, hopefully. Sills is the Grinch. I love it. You skip mine, Senor. Let me find yours, dude. I got so many. I was going to go back to them after I get the people on. Where are you, Senor? I got you. Senorita Sills. Barkley better than Lamar and Henry. I love it, Senor. Good stuff, my friend. Thank you for checking in. Sorry I missed that super chat. Good stuff there. Appreciate everybody in. I didn't mean to spaz on anybody, but I thought it was a stupid comment. Abe, what's up, Abe? Appreciate it. All right, I'm going to drop the link and have you guys join me now on the post-game show. It's officially time for the voice of the fan. Looking forward to talking to you guys here. Let me see. I'll put the link in. All right, if you're trying to join, the link is now officially in the chat. So save it and use it and click it and join in, and I'll be looking forward to talking to you. Brian Pumper, will you join? Will you show your face, Brian? I do not know. Abe, I'm ready to talk to my man Abe in here. Hot Sports in here. O-line Guru. I think O-line Guru is at the game. We're going to have to go to him. We're going to him first. Bob Brown in here. Joe Whip's in here. Edgar. All right. We got a good crew. Good crew in here ready to bring it all to you guys live on the post-game show. Any super chats I missed, by the way, I will get to at the end here. Warren, that's a new face. I'm looking forward to talking to Warren's in here. I see him. Let me read one more super chat here. Sean Mims. Herbert is considered great. Oh, I did read that. My bad. Good stuff there. Akbar to Star. He's in here. Let's go to the man, the myth, the legend, O-line Guru, joining me now here on the post-game show. What's going on, my friend? How you doing?
What's up, brother? How you doing, man?
You were down at the game today, correct?
Yes,
I think
sir,
I saw your
man.
tweet.
Oh,
How
yes,
was
sir.
it, man?
First of all, I had some. I've been to a few NFL games. I went to when we played Tom Brady in the playoffs. Went to the year we went to the Super Bowl against Dallas at Philly. But these seats I had, bro, was probably like 35 rows from the bottom.
I saw your post on Twitter, man. They were clutch seats.
Bro, I could literally see everything, bro. I could see. It was a great seat. So, game really good. Zach Bond really do pop out at me. Saquon looks unbelievable in person, bro.
Yeah.
Like, just the quickness, the explosion. I like Kellen Moore. I see what I think we're kind of getting to the point where we're just realizing Saquon's on another level right now. So I think we're kind of leaning into that a little bit. But I do think Kellen Moore does a good job at switching it up. I think when we had to take the load off of Saquon a bit, we did good with adding Jalen in there a little bit with the runs, trying to take some of the tension off of Saquon. We did a good job getting the ball to AJ and them. But overall, good game. You know, I haven't been having too much to say because what I said was earlier.
Yeah, I tell you, I was thinking of you early, though, because I'm watching those first couple of drives, and we had 4 straight punts. And I'm like, the first play of the game, you get 13 yards of Saquon Barkley. They didn't go back to it. I'm like, I don't, for the life of me, as a fan of football, I don't understand when coaches do that. But ultimately, it all worked out. I think they got to it late in the game, and Saquon ultimately got his yards and made his impact. But, you know, it drives me crazy when they go away from it early like that.
Can I say one thing also with this whole
Jalen
Hurts, stuff? And you know, man, I was even critical of him in the beginning because I'm a turnover guy. Like, I don't like turnovers. But the winner he is and his win percentage, and I keep saying this, the way I was the man on top of the mountain about the run game, I'm gonna be the man on top of the mountain about wins, bro. The quarterback stack is win percentage and comeback wins. Those two are quarterback stats for me, man. Jalen Hurts is a winner.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it.
And
look, I remember being at
Lamar. I watched Lamar in person today. I watched him miss throws, and I watched him in clutch situations when he should have took off and ran. I'm right there, like I'm watching, like, bro, you're supposed to take off and run, and he seemed indecisive in clutch moments, bigger moments. It seems as if he's trying to rely on his arm too much at times. But I just say that to say that's a 2-time MVP and one of the best in the world. Right. And Jalen Hurts showed up and won the game.
Yeah, and every quarter, it's also proof that every quarterback, no matter how good you are, is going to have good and bad moments. I mean, you're going to miss throws. There's going to be, moments you wish you could have back, no doubt. Caleb, thanks for joining, man. I'm happy you got down to the game today. It looked like it was a great game to be at in Baltimore.
Go Birds. And like I said, Zander, I was the first one to call it. I said we was contenders after the half of the Browns. You remember? I was like, all I needed to see was that one half of the Browns, and I knew, I was like, as long as we stick to that, we'll be Super Bowl contenders, and that's what we are. We're good. We just got the Lions, and we'll take care of that.
All right, good stuff, brother. I'll talk to you next week. All right, man.
Keep killing it, bro. You're killing it. You're killing it.
You got it, man. Thank you, man. Thank you, bro. Good stuff there from Caleb. Down at the game today. I love that. Love getting some members in here who were down at the game. A great viewer and member of our channel, Caleb Brandon, in the chat. He has many great takes in the chat. Good to talk to him. Let's go to Bob Brown next. Bob, you ready for me? Here I come. Coming to Bob Brown, joining me now on the post-game show. What's going on, Bob? How you doing?
I'm doing well.
You got the Christmas tree up and everything. You're looking good, Bob. You're looking like you're in the holiday spirit.
My kids came home for Thanksgiving. We decorated today. The Eagles win. I mean, there's very few things that could screw this night up. It was
not even the Grinch, Mr. Sileo, who's going to try and steal your Christmas.
No, listen. Is he wrong that 118 yards might not do it? No, he's not wrong. Right. But if Jalen came out today and forced and had 40 attempts because he wants to see him go 35 for 40 for 320 and we lost the game, then tomorrow he'd be screaming, you've got Saquon Barkley and he could be the MVP. Why the hell are you throwing the ball so much? Okay. So Sileo flips the coin. He calls heads and tails while it's in the air. And then no matter how it lands, he goes, see, I told you, how you doing? Okay. It doesn't. Now, I mean, Bond shows up. Carter shows up. DeJean and Mitchell show up. I mean, they keep doing it, and that's great. Now you've got Nolan Smith. Jalix Hunt comes on the field and is around the ball a lot. The kid seems to have a high motor and a nose for the ball. Okay. The defense looks phenomenal. And I've had the conversation with you. I don't like Vic's soft serve defense. I would like a more aggressive defense, but you can't argue with the results. And this team has bought into the system. So you ride that horse. Okay. Now, I think the ceiling for this team until we show that Jalen, when the pitch isn't working, when our fastball isn't working, when we can't just keep running the ball, when they stop us, if we can't back them off with a passing game, we are technically one-dimensional. Okay? And it's working. I think our ceiling right now is NFC Championship game because you've got to get to the NFC Championship game. Once you get to the Super Bowl, like he did 2 years ago, all bets are off. You limp in, you play good defense, you run the ball a little bit, and all of a sudden on the biggest stage, Jalen balls out, but he didn't close it. We're going to need him to throw a little bit more. I don't want him throwing 30 times a game, but give me 25 passes with 20 completions, get 225, 230 constantly. And there's nothing stopping this team. And everybody out there, this is his first year working with Kellen Moore. Now, if we can keep Kellen Moore around, which possibly Jalen hasn't shown the jump as a quarterback, as a traditional quarterback, that may keep Jalen Moore with us one more year. And with year 2 with Kellen Moore, with a foundation in Moore system, the sky's the limit for this kid, because I agree. He is a winner. He's got a mental toughness that you don't normally see. And you were there at Alabama. He was the man. He gets yanked. Tua comes in. He could easily tuck his tail. Bullshit. I'm going to go to Oklahoma and make that my team. Take him to a final. The kid he's a coach's kid. He loves the game.
26-2, Bob, when he got benched at Alabama. Think about that. You got benched and you're 26-2.
And you know what? That's crazy to say, but now he understood in college that ultimately winning the national championship, it doesn't matter if you're 26-2 if you don't win the last game played that season. It doesn't matter what his record is for the last 3 years. If the last game played in this season, he doesn't win it. Okay? Because we had the conversation on the air and they were talking about Marino and Super Bowls and records. And Marino's stance to Sileo was, yeah, I'll take the records. Well, you already had the records. But if you ask him that when he's playing, he wants the Super Bowl. Go back and ask Jim Kelly. Yeah, you made 4 in a row. Would you give up 2 of those to win one? Sure he would. and Jalen would give up and he would go in as a wild card every year if he had a shot to win the Super Bowl. The stakes are very high. We did have the Charlie Brown moment last year where Lucy pulled the football out from underneath us and the entire city of Philadelphia was laying on their ass. So let's not let the highs get too high. Our lows should never be too low. Listen, the Carolina game, as much as we should blow them out, as a Philadelphia fan for 5 decades, we have the ability to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. That's a trap game because Pittsburgh's coming off 400 yards. Let's just hope that the one thing that Sirianni can do and keep this team focused, because right now that's all I expect. Just keep the team doing what they're doing and don't screw it up. That's the important thing.
Yep. Bob, it's Super Bowl or bust right now, right?
Well, I'll say this. I'll say it again. I think they got to get the NFC Championship game until, if that game's in Detroit, that's a pick'em game. If that game's in Philly, then we should. But to sit here right now and say we're going to go into Detroit and take out that team, that's more pride than being realistic. I think we should get to the NFC Championship game, and if it's there, we have all the tools to beat them. If they come to us, home field advantage, they get to come outside, we should smack that ass, put our brand on it, and send them back to Detroit.
I love it. Bob Brown, one of the best in the business. Brother, appreciate you doing it. Great stuff, as always. Looking forward to talking to you. I love the addition of the Christmas tree to the postgame show tonight.
You're going to have it every week. That thing's not coming down till after the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I love it. That's what we do in my house, too. The Christmas tree goes up early and it stays up late.
It stays up. If it was me, I'd leave it all year. You have a good night. Great show, buddy.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Yep,
good stuff from Bob Brown here on the JAKIB Postgame Show. Good stuff, man. Bob Brown makes a lot of sense when he talks about football, doesn't he? Makes a lot of sense when he talks about football. Love doing it. Let's go to Joe Whipp. Joe, coming to you next, my friend. Here I come. Joe, what's going on, my man? How you doing?
I'm doing great. How about you, Zander?
I'm doing well, man. 8 straight wins for this Eagles team. They're now 10-2. What'd you see today, Joe?
Well, they dominated. Both lines dominated the Ravens.
Yeah.
And I was really impressed with what I saw from Jalen Hurts. He played really well.
He's no project player, Bob. He's better than a project player. Yeah.
He's a big dude, too.
Yeah.
When he was next to Nolan Smith, he dwarfed him. He's a powerful, big guy, and he was in the backfield all day, every time he was out there. I think he's going to be a really, really good player.
Yeah, I think it's a good take by you, and I think people are going to start to see that more over the next couple of weeks, talking about the loss of BG and how to make up for it. Well, he might be your answer.
He may be.
Yeah.
By the way, I remember Bob Brown when he played for the Eagles. He looks a little different, though, than I remember him.
What do you think of the offense and the passing game and Jalen and just that stuff, and where do you fall on that conversation with where this team is? I think they're legit Super Bowl contenders with the passing game as it is. Maybe I'm too optimistic. What say you?
I agree, but the thing that I couldn't stop wondering about was the performance in the first quarter. They picked it up with the up tempo and the RPOs, and they were dominating Baltimore in the second quarter. And in the third quarter, they stopped doing it. It was like the second quarter never happened. And I don't know why they got away from doing that.
Yeah, because they were marching down the field.
That's right. And when they started doing more of it in the fourth quarter, they picked it up again. I don't know why they abandoned what they were doing in the second quarter. I don't understand.
It's almost like
that.
they have like an infatuation with trying to be something that they keep going for, and then when it doesn't work, inevitably they go back to what they're good at.
You keep doing what works. I don't understand why you get off doing what works. That was the only thing in the game. I picked the Eagles to win 27-24.
Oh, good pick.
I think they're a way different team than they were last year. This team is way more physical than they were last year. Last year, the 49ers, and by the way, I'm enjoying watching the 49ers stink to join up in the snow. The 49ers punched them in the mouth last year, and they didn't respond. And this year, they're punching everybody else in the mouth. It's a completely different team. So if there's any naysayers out there, they're going to say, well, they were 10-2 last year, blah, 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 blah. Forget about it.
Yeah, it is.
That's not going to happen this year.
Well, cue Saquon Barkley and cue the defense, who's playing like the best unit in the NFL. That'll quell those concerns. Joe, thanks for joining, man. Super Bowl or bust this year or what?
Yeah, I'm going to have to work on getting tickets to New Orleans. I may have an opportunity to meet with Mr. Barkley. So maybe I can get tickets from him. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. What is that, a golf? That must be some
He's a neighbor. Well, he's a neighbor of a friend of mine. And I'm trying to get on a foursome.
Nice.
With Saquon. So
nice.
So if he does, I'll put a good word in for you there.
Awesome. I love it. Joe Whip. Good stuff, man. Thanks for joining. I will see you in the chat this week. All right, my friend?
I'll be there.
All right. Good stuff, Joe.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, man. Good stuff there from Joe Whip. Great takes today from the great people of JAKIB Nation. As always, getting them in here. So looking forward to talking to everybody. I got Abe. Abe, you ready for me, brother? Tell me I got another Christmas tree.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me I got another Christmas tree. Let's go. It's a Christmas edition of the Postgame Show. What's going on, Abe? How you doing, brother?
Good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Birds 8 straight, 10-2. Knock off the Ravens. Number one defense shuts them down. What'd you see out there today, Abe?
What was it? Number one offense versus number one defense?
Yeah, number one offense. They're the number one offense. Yep.
That was war right there.
Yeah.
That was war. And I was doubting, the rush defense, like the Ravens rush defense. Well, they were stopping us in the first half. And Barkley wasn't running for nothing. And then especially in the third quarter, he wasn't doing shit.
Well, we didn't have the ball in the third quarter. They had the ball for about 12 or 13 minutes of it.
Yeah, I saw the time possession. It was like they had 33 minutes. We had like 26. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, but in that third quarter, it was a major difference in that game. But no, yeah, I mean, look, they're running right now, and that defense is playing really good. Where are you on Jalen in the passing game and that conversation?
Man, we do whatever it takes to win. Like he said it in his own press conference. Like, whatever it takes to win. I don't give a damn. Man, just win the damn game.
Right.
I don't care if you don't pass over 200. We won that game. We put Lamar in his fucking place. We put Derrick Henry in the damn dirt. Cooper put that motherfucker in the damn dirt.
How about that, dude? Man. How about Cooper DeJean? What is he, 23 years old, 22 years old, lifting up Derrick Henry and mashing him into the ground?
Man, and then, Q, after he got dinged up, he still blocked Zay Flowers for that. He thought he was a holding. Like, all that was some bullshit, I thought. But
I think this is a Super Bowl team, Abe. Are you seeing Super Bowl right now?
I'm seeing a competition or a battle for the NFC title between the Lions and us. That's just no way. There's no way in hell somebody else is going to be in that spot other than us.
I know. I'm with you. I don't see how it could end up any other way in the NFC unless there's a massive upset in the playoffs. But maybe that'll happen. Abe, good stuff, my friend. I will talk to you.
I want to say one thing.
Yeah,
Tony
go for it, man.
Romo
Go for
should never broadcast the Eagles game ever again.
Who?
I mean,
Who'd you
Tony
say?
Romo.
Oh, dude. Tony Romo has gotten really bad on air.
No, not even bad. He was siding, like on the Ravens side in the first half. Like, this man, what was it? It was like a whole call. Like, it was like a holding on Goddard and the end zone.
I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Tony Romo. Yeah.
He's
he played for the Cowboys, dude. He's an Eagle hater.
Why is he calling the games then?
I don't know. CBS paid him like $20 million. They got to put him on the game, dude. They don't give a shit, unfortunately. But no, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Man, other than that, I just wanted to come out this game clean. Nobody hurt. We were down some players.
Yeah, well, we lost some dudes today. I don't think there was anything serious, luckily, today, but we definitely have some dudes who are banged up right now.
Yeah. I did see Jalen Hurts coming in. Man, that motherfucker can do it.
Yeah. I was happy Joe Whip brought him up. He looked really good today.
Baptist College? Whatever.
Was it Houston Baptist? Yeah, Houston Baptist, I think it is.
Okay.
Yeah, now he's going up against NFL boys. Playing good, man. All right, hey, good stuff, man. I'll talk to you soon. All right, brother?
Go Birds.
Go Birds, man. Good stuff. In the JAKIB hat. You guys see that? With the JAKIB hat. 25% off right now, everybody. What is it? JAKIB Nation is the code. A little Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Get yourself some JAKIB merch. Get your family some JAKIB merch. Or tell somebody in your family to buy you some JAKIB merch because you guys are the ones who watch JAKIB. whatever you want to do. It's 25% off. It's a deal of a century. Because let me tell you, your boy Big Z is not making a plug nickel on them sales on 25% off. It's like free merch for the great people. All right. I do it because I love you all. All right, let's keep going here. Riding the bench coming up next. You with me, brother? Here I come. What's going on, my man? How you doing?
Hanging in, bro. How about you?
Good, man. Eight straight. What'd you see today for the Birds?
I just saw what I've seen the last 8 weeks, man. Just a tough ass team.
Yeah, they are.
I think other people have said it in the chat before, and you guys mentioned it on the post-game show. It looks like Seattle. It looks like Seattle from a few years ago, with Beast Mode being the head of the snake,
right?
A quarterback being clutch on third down, and then a defense that's just stifling. It's just like, it's remarkable to see the transformation from last year to what we are now.
It's almost not believable.
I thought we would get this like 2 or 3 years from now.
I thought it'd be worse, dude. Think about it. We lost Fletcher Cox. We lost Kelsey. Now, I know he's not on the defense, but I'm thinking, okay, you'll maybe make it up if Jalen Carter steps up, but the linebackers, we don't know. The safeties, I mean, I was not really high on the C.J. Gardner-Johnson signing. He's been pretty good, but the defense is unbelievable.
Nah, dude, it's been it's been the best in the NFL. Like it just has been. Like there's no way to slice it anymore. Any quarterback, any style of play, we match up well, and that's kind of been that's what makes this team so unique right now.
Right, I agree.
You know, Lamar, a guy who can extend the play, it doesn't matter. We can match up with that. Traditional throwback guy with Joe Burrow, you can match up with that. You want to match up a system with Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford, we can match up with that too. You know, it's been remarkable to see what this defense has done. And then, you know, MVP Saquon Barkley has just been sensational. I wasn't expecting that. Like, I thought we paid a lot of money for the guy. I was one of those fans who was like, we paid a lot of money for a running back. He's been worth every penny. Honestly, it's been a steal. It's been a steal.
It's a steal, dude. It's an absolute steal what Barkley has been. All right, I'm going to ask you a different question than I've asked everybody else, but I think it's a better way to word the question.
Sure.
What's your biggest concern about the Eagles right now going into the home stretch? They're 10-2. I think they're widely regarded as maybe the best team in the NFC right now, second to the Lions. I guess some would say. I think we're better than the Lions right now. What's your biggest concern with this football team right now?
I'll say there's two things that kind of give me a concern. Well, three things rather. Number one's depth. I think depth is an issue on this team. I don't think we can afford any more injuries, so the war of attrition is going to be a big deal. On the defensive side of the ball, I think the second level in pass coverage is a concern for me. Now, if the defensive line doesn't get home, so like a team like Detroit, for example, attacks the middle of the field all the time, do I trust Nakobe Dean and Zach Bond to be able to cover that zone? Not 100% sure yet. They've done it thus far, and I'll give them credit because the defensive line has been excellent. But if an offensive line can hold up, which Detroit can, Jared Goff, if he's got time and he's got a clean pocket, he can throw at the best of them. And it's like you've said it in the past, his ball placement it's really as good as anybody in the NFL when he's got a clean pocket. So that's probably my concern. And on the offensive side of the ball, I know Sileo, McMullen, and a lot of other Eagle fans talk about like Jalen Hurts and the consistency in the passing game. I'm not necessarily worried about that. I'm more worried about the early slow starts. It's 13 weeks now where we're seeing this team just not come out the gate with like any juice. And it's like, that's not going to fly against some of the better teams in the NFL. So we got to be able to just put up points, something on the first drive to give this defense something to work with. It can't be a stifling quarter. This defense has to hold it down, and then Barkley breaks your back all of a sudden, right? Like it can't be that every single week. So, but it's been working, so we're gonna ride.
No, you're not wrong, though, man.
Until the playoffs. So
listen, if our defense that wasn't playing as good as you are, as they are, that would be a bigger issue because you saw today. I brought it up on the postgame show. There was multiple instances where the Ravens could have blown that game open in the very first quarter because the offense couldn't do shit and the defense was. I mean, we were down 9. We could have went down 16. I thought the Ravens were going to go down and score, but defense kept them in it, and ultimately the Eagles prevailed. But all right, brother, good stuff, man. Great takeaways from the game. I thought they were really spot on. I'll talk to you again soon. All right, brother.
Take care, brother. Appreciate it.
Good stuff, man. That's Riding the Bench Eagles podcast. Go check out his Eagles podcast. I think he has one. I'm assuming that's why he's got that name. He does a good job here, and I appreciate him for doing that. Warren, I'm coming to you, Warren. Warren just checked out. Never mind. Warren, goodbye. I was coming to Warren. Hot Sport, I'm coming to you, and then I'm coming to Akbar. I'm coming to Akbar. Up Warren. Hold on. Hot Sport, I'm coming to you next. Warren, I'm coming to you. I was about to come to you, and you dropped off, and you're back. New face. What's going on, Warren? How you doing, my man?
What's going on, man? What's going on? I know I was on here back for the Bengals game.
Okay. I remember you. Yep, I remember.
Yeah, most definitely. But yeah, man, this team, like, I don't know about you guys, but I watched this whole Ravens game, and even when we were slowing down a little bit, I was still confident that the defense will bring us back. Yeah, the offense is starting off really slow, but we all of a sudden after that second half starts, we just soon just take off. I don't know if they're making the right corrections or whatever's going on, but this is a total just flip from what it was last year. So I'm loving this.
Yeah, man, it's the defense is insane. It's one thing to do it to lesser teams. It's another thing. Now you've done it to Burrow, you've done it to Stafford, you did it to Jaden, and you did it now today to the greatest player on earth in Lamar Jackson. Very impressive stuff. What are you seeing from the offense? What do you like? Anything you dislike right now about the offense? Where are you on the whole offensive discussion right now for the Birds?
Yeah, so as far as the offense, everybody's talking about the pass game, but I look at it like this. I don't know how many games you can count to where we had Dallas Goedert, A.J. Brown, and Smitty all at the same time. It's only just a few games. So there's very little film of all three of them on the field with Saquon. So I think that's more of an advantage that we have, like, moving forward. So nobody knows, like, what we're capable of actually doing once we have all four of those weapons.
I mean, remember, these are humans. I think sometimes people think it's like, oh, you got great players, you plug them on a team and everything. They are humans. They got to figure it out. They got to find their tendencies. And I think that's a good point. Maybe it's almost a blessing that they're not there yet because they're still finding it. All right, man, what's your biggest concern on the team before I let you go?
Just injuries. That's my biggest concern. Like, if we can keep injuries going, keep winning games, and hopefully the Lions can get knocked off a few times, we can get that home field advantage because I don't think they can play in that Philly weather. I don't think they can handle it.
I'm so with you. That's my number one focus right now. I mean, beating the Ravens was fun. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. I want that 1 seed because I want to pull Jared Goff out of that fairy dome that they play in that's insulated and bring them to Philly in January. I'm not giving that game to Jared Goff.
They can't do it. I don't see it. But yeah, man, I think this team's doing well. It sucks we lost Brandon Graham because if we take this all the way without him, we did it for him.
We did it for him. It'll be a great way for him to go out. I think he'll end up hanging him up if we end up winning it at all.
Yeah, I'd like to see him coach the team, become a coach or something.
I think that might be where he's going, Warren. You can see him already at practice. People are sharing videos up of him out at practice. Even today, before the game, he was down on there. I mean, I think he has that natural ability. The question would be, does he want to be a present father? Because coaching is time. You know what I mean? Like, he could take a media job like Kelsey, work a couple days a week and be with his kids. Coaching is a grind, at least from what I hear. So,
most definitely.
Yeah, Warren, thank you, man. Good talking with you, brother.
Most definitely. Take it easy.
Good stuff, man. Great stuff there from Warren. Love getting some fresh people in. I did talk to Warren before, but good to have him back on here in a fresh name. Got two left. Got Hot Sport and got Akbar to Star. Hot Sport, I'm coming to you, brother. Here I come. Our optimistic Aussie, I like to call him. What's going on? How you doing?
Optimistic. I wouldn't say I'm optimistic. I'd say that I'm telling you what's been happening the whole year.
You're optimistic, brother.
Okay.
It's all right. It's a good thing to be optimistic. Tell the choir to shut up back there.
Yeah, no, it's my boss is here. I'm in his office.
Boss is not happy.
Well, do you guys work in Australia or what? What goes on over there?
We do work in Australia. Here.
What's up, brother?
Get back to work, Anton.
Yeah. So what I was going to say is, I'm going to have it all written down here. Today was 1 year since the beginning of what they call on First Things First, the supernatural funk, right? And 1 year later, this team beat the Baltimore Ravens, the team that I picked to win the Super Bowl at the start of the year.
You picked them this year to win?
I did pick them at the beginning of the year.
I'm not hating on the pick. That's not a bad pick. Yeah, Lamar's
So, look, I want to kind of come to bat for my quarterback here for a second. I don't know. I don't understand what people are saying by he had a stinker or anything like that. First of all, I showed you my top 10 quarterback list I sent to you on Twitter. Yeah,
I saw it. Yep, I thought it was a
right.
good list, actually.
So of course it's a good list because I put together all the statistics and it's real. So in that top 5, since the beginning of 2022, Jalen Hurts during the regular season is 5-0 against the 5 quarterbacks on that list now that we've beaten Lamar Jackson, right? So if we want to talk about a great quarterback, he always, when he gets into the ring with the other great quarterbacks, he always comes out on top. I think that's an important stat. And by the way, Johnny Mack and Dan are worried about when the Eagles are going to have to pass, or do we have a passing game that can win? The thing is you have to go with the flow of the game, and the game has not required us to pass the ball. No one has taken us out of our comfort zone quite yet. No one has taken away Saquon Barkley. And by the way, people don't understand that part of the reason why Saquon is doing so well in Philly is not only because of the offensive line, it's also because of the fact that people have to worry about Jalen Hurts in the run game as well. That's why Jalen is such a great quarterback. You have to worry about so many different things. And it was so cool to watch him go against Lamar Jackson today. And I actually thought I was more impressed with Jalen overall, just in terms of the way he's able to manage the game, the way he's
you got to call a spade a spade. He doesn't have to do as much as Lamar does. So I hear you. I hear what you're saying. I do. It's not falling on deaf ears, but Lamar has to be the star there.
What I'm saying, though, is that if he had to, he could. I said this to you on your show about a month ago. The Super Bowl 2 years ago, that was a historic performance in a Super Bowl.
Yes,
that is. He has it is required of him to go from punch to punch with the best players in the NFL, the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Jalen Hurts can do it. I am not worried about Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is an elite quarterback, and I don't want to hear any more about it from Dan. Look, Dan is just running out of rope right now. He's trying to hold on to something. And
You're going to learn a lesson,
and he's fine. And
Big
he's finding
never
something.
runs out of rope. Big Sills never runs out of rope. Bob said it perfectly. All right, man. What's your biggest concern on the team before I let you go?
Okay, I thought you were going to ask me the Super Bowl or bust question.
I shelved that one. I like the concern one better.
Yeah, look, obviously the slow starts to the games, because on another day, if we start the way that we did, as we have been doing it the whole year, we're going to get found out. There's going to be a time that the defense just isn't going to be able to pull out those stops. Doesn't even mean throughout the game. It just means at the early part of the games, we can go 14, 17, nothing down or something, and we could be having a big uphill battle to climb. So that would be my concern. Everything else, though, I would say I'm very, very confident about. And I'm actually going to ask the Super Bowl or bust question, because I don't like the word bust.
I don't either.
If the Eagles don't win the Super Bowl, we have a 5-year window now where we have a young roster that's up and coming.
That's a little
long.
Yes,
we do. It's not long.
It is.
He has, look at the defense we have now. It is mostly made up of draft picks from the last 3 years, all of which are all hits.
Yeah, but Anthony, I hear your point, but that's a perfect scenario. Now, you're right. It could very well happen, but think about who was on the Philadelphia Eagles 5 years ago. I want you to think about that for a second. Think about who was on the Eagles 5 years ago. The team is 90% new in the last 5 years. So I'm just saying a lot happens in the NFL. But you got to capitalize, man. This team needs the win.
I got to tell you, though, you really look at the team. We were like, what's going to happen when Jason Kelce leaves? What happens when Fletcher is going to leave? What happens when BG is going to leave? Well, now we've got Cam Jurgens, who stepped into the Kelce position. I'm not missing Jason Kelce this year. I'm not missing Fletcher Cox this year. I've got Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis. I'm not missing Fletcher Cox. And I hate to say it, I'm not going to miss BG either, although I miss him as a personality, because Jalix Hunt came today, made an impact in the game, and Nolan Smith, the first-round draft pick, also had an incredible game today. The Eagles will just keep getting stronger and stronger and stronger. This is why you build the roster the way that we have, man. Look, this isn't the end. This is not a bust season. We could win it all, but if we don't, we're right back at it next year. That's my opinion.
I like it. I think that's fair, and I think it's grounded in a good take. Good stuff, Anton. I'll talk to you next week. All right, brother?
All right, see ya.
Get back to work. All right, good stuff. Got one more, man. Akbar the Star coming up. There he is. There he is. What's
You
going
see
on,
me, dog?
Akbar?
You can see me, dog?
I can see you. I can hear you. You look fresh, my guy. Can you not see me?
All right, I can see you on the other joint. I can't see you on. I'm still trying to figure this whole thing out with this.
Yeah, it's tough. It's the tech world is not easy, Akbar. You gotta. Here's what I'll tell you to do. Watch some YouTube on it. I'm telling you, those people will help you out. But anyway, what's your takeaway on this game, man? 8 straight for the Birds. Now 10-2 on the year, and you made Lamar Jackson look like a shell of himself today. What'd you take away on the game?
Well, just like you just said, it just made Lamar Jackson look like a shell of himself. Now, I want to say something. First of all, I want to go like this. I want to give you the Dan, where did you on at? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right. So first stat I wanted to bring up was Jackson was 10-0 at home in December. Now, I mean, we just wrecked that. We just turned that 0 into a 1. I don't want to diss Dan Sileo, right? I understand what he do. First of all, I learned a lot off the dude in the last 2 years. Like, you know what I mean? And I was already a great analyst, a commentator, whatever, before I started watching him, but now my shit is on a whole different level. So when he says that Jalen Hurts is not elite, he's not fucking wrong. I'm tired of hearing people saying that Jalen Hurts is like fucking Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes or Lamar Jackson. The bull good. He playing good for us. Why we can't leave it at that? Why we gotta put the elite shit on him? The other thing is the bull is a content creator. He can't just come on and say, hey, yeah, the Eagles are doing great. You know, the offense is great. The defense is great. And y'all going to the Super Bowl. See you later. Bye. It won't be nothing to fucking talk about. Like he gotta throw some.
You're telling me. I hope everybody's listening.
This is for everybody to understand what the bull is doing. Like he got a job to do, which is lets me know I'm in the wrong business because this guy is getting paid to antagonize people. And I'm the best at it. I still debate whether I feel I'm the one that feel like Jay-Z beat Nas in the rap battle. I'm one of them guys. And I'll argue
debate rap battles with. I'll tell you that much. I'm about as white as it gets when it talks about coming to rap battles. I'll tell you that. I'll take your word for it, all right?
All right. So so you know, just you know what I mean? But the one thing I don't like that Sil said that I don't like, it was in the summertime. Matter of fact, it's been like a whole year. Sil's been like, take the ball out of his hands. Take the ball out of his hands with his Fred Flintstone sounding ass. The bull talk just like Fred Flintstone. I'm the fucking around with him. That's my guy, but he definitely looked more like Fred Flintstone with no mustache. You know what I mean? I gotta hear him say yabba dabba do one time. Just one time. But anyway, he's been banging the take the ball out of his hand. Take the ball out of his hand. If he looks like 22 Hurts, you know what I mean? Y'all will go to the Super Bowl. Now, the narrative is he gotta throw the ball more. Like that shit just drives me fucking crazy. Like why he gotta throw the ball more now? Why? The boy won like 8 games, you know what I mean, being a serviceable quarterback. That's what we want him to be. That's what we need him to be. We don't need him to throw the ball 30 plus times. Like if he can get away with throwing it 19, 20 times. Look, he threw the ball 19 times against the Baltimore Ravens, who had a defense, a ranked 2 defense on run defense. What you want the ball to do? He only need to make between 6 to 10 correct passes in one game. All we don't want him to do is fuck it up. That's all we don't want him to do.
Yeah, but we're talking about Super Bowl here, Akbar. So the margins are thinner. Let me ask you this, because I don't disagree with your point. I side far more on your side than I do with Sills and John, who think it's a big problem. But let's just say right now, it's the NFC title game versus the Detroit Lions, and we're down by 7 with 2 minutes left and no timeouts. Do you trust Jalen Hurts to be able to run that passing offense to get down to the end zone?
No, I don't. No, I don't.
I think that's where the concern comes from many.
Yeah, but I dig it. But at the same time, look at how our defense is playing. Our defense is playing the fuck out. Like, okay, this is. I want to ask you something, right? I'm seeing us going to the. I'm not worried about Detroit. I ain't worried about Pittsburgh. We might run the table these last 5 games. But this is the thing for me. Our secondary face the best receivers I ain't gonna say the best receivers in the league, but up to this point, we face some very reputable receivers. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely.
Okay. So when it comes to the Super Bowl, what receivers on Buffalo, KC, Baltimore, or anybody else that could make it to the Super Bowl from the AFC? What receivers are we worried about? We just shut. I ain't gonna say we shut Henry down today, but he didn't get 100 yards. You know what I mean? Like he was pretty much handled. You seen Cooper DeJean playing him like Johnny Appleseed. You know what I mean? Planted that ball. Like, you know what I mean? So like, what are we talking about here? What are we talking about? The run guy, I ain't even talking about the offense. The defense, Jalen Carter is a fucking animal.
He is.
Animal.
Yeah, he's
all
beast.
that. It's a fucking beast. Who else? Cooper
Zach Bond, dude. Zach Bond. Oh,
Zach
Cooper
Bond.
Zach Bond is impressive. Impressive.
We gotta keep him.
We're gonna keep him. I have a hard time believing how he's gonna let him walk. I really do.
Too.
I know it's expensive. I know it's not like Howie. I think he's gonna figure out how to make it happen. I do not see Zach Bond walking.
Just on the strength of how the TJ Edwards situation was done. And this guy's better than TJ Edwards.
I mean, I love TJ, but TJ was not like Zach. TJ wasn't versatile like that at all.
Right. So how you gonna just let this dude walk and go get who? Like, you gotta keep this dude. He is the linchpin in your defense. He's the linchpin. You got Carter up front. You got Cooper DeJean and the young boy Mitchell in the back. I mean, I do want Slay to come back. I'm hoping for his return. You know, we Nolan Smith. We had a Nolan Smith sighting early. Like, I was like, wow, like all this bull need is about 10, 15 pounds more muscle.
I agree.
Up top.
Yep. He needs to build his body up. Kind of like Nakobe Dean did. Nakobe Dean put on some weight, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He looked like he looked like somebody. Nakobe Dean little, man. Nakobe Dean looked like somebody you put into a cannonball and shoot across the circus and shit like that. Like, he's a little dude, but he hit harder than a motherfucker. So, like, yeah, our defense, man. Listen, all season long. Well, you're gonna see Lamar Jackson. Oh, you're going to see whoever, all these other quarterbacks that we done seen, we done gave them issues, especially in the secondary. Vic Fangio is all of that. He is all of that. Like, I'm feeling Vic Fangio. And I want to say something about the thing they doing with the first 25. That's the other narrative. Your first 25 plays suck. You need to score in the first quarter. Why?
Why?
It'd be nice if they did, but they ain't got to because the defense is handling it.
Yeah, but if you can't zoom out, Akbar, and see how that's not an eagle-colored glasses take, I can't help you. There's 4 quarters in a football game, Akbar. 4.
I understand.
Not 20, 4. If you're inept in one quarter, you're taking 25% off the game. You realize what that's doing to your margin of error. Now, of course, we can win, but again, you're talking about closing the gap with these better teams in the league. You play against the Bills, the Chiefs, the Detroit Lions. They go up 2 scores in the first quarter. You're not worried about that?
Who says they will? I don't see nobody on their team that's
that one you might be right about. The defense is playing that good that it's fair to wonder
They're
if they
playing that good. They're number 1 in the league. Yeah. Like what am I missing here? Like we don't face the bull chase. We don't face a lot of good receivers, man. And we got 2 rookies in the backfield and they playing phenomenal. You said something earlier. You said that the only reason why we're not able, why it's not befitting, but it works is because the defense is playing great. So if the defense is playing great, I don't really think it's not. Now, if the defense start missing tackles, people is slant routes, not the slant routes, but they're they closing on position. I forget how you say that, like they're them kind of run fits, like their angles running to the ball and to the player and all that. Like if that's off key, okay, these guys need to score early, but we shut them out the whole second half. They basically had 12 points the whole goddamn game. We did this to Lamar Jackson and Derrick fucking Henry, King Henry. Like what more? Like come on. Like, yeah, so
you're right. Look, you're right, man. You're not wrong.
So we really scared. Are we really scared of Josh Allen and who else he got? He ain't got no fucking body. He ain't got no running back. He definitely ain't got no Derrick Henry, and neither does KC. Now, this is why I wanted to ask you last week. I left it out, but check this out. How do you feel about as far as it being a Super Bowl hangover for the 49ers and KC? Because in my opinion, KC looked like how we did last year. They look like they winning just cause. Like,
they're on a double, remember, dude. They're on a double hangover.
Yeah, that's something to think about, man. Yeah. And he ain't got no top-notch receivers like that. Pacheco is not like that. Like he gave us a problem. We was in the last Super Bowl, but we ain't have Vic Fangio. Vic Fangio is a motherfucker. He's the difference maker in our defense. We don't have no real top-notch names in our defense, but we got hell of a players. Like they really in a bag. The defense is in a bag, man. I don't see nobody fucking with us at all. Now I don't want to, come off like the deal is done. Like you asked the one bull, you asked him what's his what would be an issue,
biggest concern.
My biggest concern is injury. That's my only concern is injury. I ain't worried about Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts ain't gonna turn the ball over. You know what I mean? He gonna get it to we got the triplets. And how dare these cats say what they say? We haven't seen a quarterback throw this less and win a Super Bowl in 15 years. You brought one up, which was my man Peyton Manning.
Manning had like 120 yards in that game, dude. Von Miller was the Super Bowl MVP.
Exactly, right? So you don't, but we haven't seen a team like this in 30 years. We haven't seen a team with an offensive line this stout, this ready for war, this much of a Broad Street bully since Dallas Cowboys in the 90s. We got the triplets. We got the Dallas Cowboys in the 90s with no big names on defense. That's what the Eagles is right now. Fucking Saquon Barkley is Emmett. Like that's what we working with right now. So that's a recipe for a dynasty. You know what I mean? In my opinion, that's if we keep stoutling and our offensive line is keep flourishing, we keep Vic Fangio and they figure that shit out, like with Howie and all that shit. this is the brink. This is dynasty shit right here, because you have to be able to run the ball to win the Super Bowl. You have to. The one ball, I don't like none of Hot Sport takes, but the one take he did have that I do like, the one take that he did have that I do like is that whatever Jalen is not doing with his arm, he's picking it up with his legs. You know what I'm saying? And
he
that's
had
all
30
we need
yards,
to do.
29 yards on the ground. He didn't do much.
Yeah, I mean, but that's all he needed to do, though. That's all he needed to do. And Barkley didn't have no 200-yard game today. Like, it was literally the defense, the offensive line, and Hurts managing the ball game. Which you call for Saquon Barkley standards, he had a pedestrian game today. He did better than Derrick Henry, but he still had a pedestrian game. He had
no jersey giveaway this week.
Yeah, like you've been giving away jerseys left and right.
Oh,
you know
my
what I
God,
mean?
left and right, man.
So yeah, so like, gotta cool it on the narrative about this Jalen gotta pass the ball more. Like, why the fuck would we want him to pass the ball more when we already know he don't read defenses that well? He throws the ball late. He don't know how to look off defenses.
I think, Akbar, people want to see that to satisfy their own ego more than they do for the success of the Eagles. You're grounded in you want the Eagles to be successful. Some people just want to be proven right, dude. I'm telling you. Jalen Hurts could throw for 300 and he would answer the question of going through the air, but if we lost the game, who cares? We care about the win. I'm with you. I get it. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, man. So what else I got?
You came ready today, brother. You're on fire.
Thanks, man. And it's weird because I didn't take a whole lot of notes. I just I didn't really need to take no notes really today. That's the kind of game it was.
Some people are big notes takers. I've had a couple people with JAKIB who are big notes takers. I'm half and half. I need a topic down. The rest I can elaborate. You know what I'm saying?
I usually, when I first started on this genre, I was on freestyle, and it was cool, but I started taking it more serious. That's why I got the mic. I ain't get the mic fixed yet. I don't know how to work this.
Sound good. I think that mic's working, dude.
This thing is working.
I don't know. You sound really clear. You sound clear, and your camera is much more clear this week too.
I got the light up. I got one of them kind of lights that I forget what you call them, recess lights, and I forget to turn it all the way up. So maybe that's why I'm just sitting in my little studio watching San Fran get the bricks beat off of them, and that's cool.
What's the score in that game? I haven't even tuned it in yet.
It's 28-10, little under 4 minutes left in the third quarter. They're getting the bricks beat off of them. Like, there's no more left.
Wasn't it? It was 28-3, right? Wasn't it?
I believe so.
Yeah. That's good. I always love watching San Francisco get destroyed. All right, brother. Great takeaways from the game today. I'm thrilled because we won 8 straight and we're 10-2, and you're fine. You're doing it versus teams now that you can't really discredit us on, you know. And like I said, though, I don't really care about the opponent other than what I just said, because last year we beat the Chiefs. What'd it matter? We beat the Bills last year. What'd that matter? We beat the 70-point Dolphins. What'd that matter? We beat the 12-5 Cowboys. What did that matter? We got to keep playing good football late in the year. That's what matters. And I think the team is positioned to do that right now. I don't see any reason why they wouldn't be right there in the NFC title game versus probably Detroit.
Detroit won't score 20 points. Book it. Nobody's been able to do it all year. The guy St. Brown. What's his name? St. Brown.
Yeah, I'm on Ross St. Brown. Yep.
He is nice. He's nice like that. He like that, but he ain't Jamar Chase. He not. Now I'm gonna tell you one thing. Minnesota, man. Minnesota look like a problem to me right now. I ain't gonna lie. Sam Darnold.
Didn't Minnesota almost lose today, dude?
Huh?
Didn't Minnesota almost lose today?
Yeah, they were supposed to lose. They
won 23-22 over the Cardinals.
Yeah, that was.
Here's what I don't like about Detroit, and one of our viewers brought it up. It was Riding the Bench Eagles podcast who was on. He does a good job. He brought up that the matchup versus Detroit if Detroit gets their way early and can run the ball, it is for them, because that play action pass with Jared Goff could be our kryptonite, because that means you're going to have Nakobe Dean and Zach Bond in coverage all day, if they can set up that play action pass. So from that perspective, I think Detroit's got a nice setup with that, but I don't fear them. I think we're a better team right now. I think we're more physical. I think we're more physical at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage.
We are. And Gibbs is nice. Gibbs is nice, man, but he ain't Derrick Henry. And he ain't Saquon Barkley. Like, we done shut down.
Gibbs is pretty good, dog. You're right. He's not those two guys, but he's up there.
He is good. He good as shit. Like, but he not. And Wichicom is good too. Josh Jacobs is a fucking. He's
in Green Bay. He's real good.
He mean, like he a mean runner. Like he beat you up.
They're all Bama backs you're talking about. Derrick Henry, Jahmyr Gibbs, Josh Jacobs. They're all Bama boys.
Yeah, them Bama boys is heavy. Yeah. Them boys is heavy. Like they doing their thing. But again, man, Vic Fangio. Oh, what was I saying? Oh, the top 20. I'm thinking maybe that's a part of they first 25 plays, the Eagles in offense. I'm thinking maybe that's a part of their scheme. Like that's a part of their thing. Like, right. I don't know. They go in and they say, like, oh, okay, I see they doing this. Okay. So this is how we're gonna play them now. I think they just in my opinion, they picking out ways to deal with how they want to deal with the defense. I seen on one play, Tony Homo was saying how Jalen was supposed to keep it, and he ain't do it. Now, I mean, they ran an RPO a lot tonight. I haven't seen that.
Yeah, they did, man. It looked good too. It worked.
Yeah. I ain't see that all season. They ain't did that all season. Imagine if Hurts had a clue on how to throw a screen pass. We got our whole team, our whole offense can run a screen pass, except for maybe Dotson. Our whole fucking offense, everybody on there can run a screen. That's the one thing I like about Detroit. They run them screens with everybody they got. Everybody gets a screen
and they're
pass.
Good at them, man.
They're great. Like they ran like 30 screen passes last week. But my whole thing is Vic Fangio, man. Like I couldn't stand hearing this is Vic Fangio's defense. I hated that shit. Like nobody runs it like him. He runs it. There's
way more nuance to his act.
He'll change more.
In any given situation, he'll give a different look. He'll change it up based on the opponent. And I don't think anybody else did that like he does.
They didn't, man. They kept it. The Sills used to talk about it all the time. How the corners used to line up 10, 12 yards off the receiver and giving them too much space. Like it was just, they always did it. So it made me hate Vic Fangio without even seeing, what he can do. And then you hear all the shit that the Dolphins was talking about him, how bad he sucked and he was out of date and all that shit. And then he come here and what he said at the beginning of the season, 12 games, I'll let you know. He let us know he got a number 1 ranked defense and they not fucking playing. Like our defense is the best defense in the league. And that's how you win Super Bowls. Defense, control the clock, run the ball, and the quarterback don't fuck up. He makes certain passes that he need to make. We got AJ Brown. You know what I mean? I'm loving how Goddard he's implementing Goddard into the game now. Like get Calcaterra, get both of them out there at the same time. Get Calcaterra and Goddard out there and play some Bill Belichick shit when he be having when he used to have 2 tight ends at the same time. Like, I mean, I'm happy with what they're doing right now, though. I'm just saying, like, it's some shit that they're gonna do that we ain't seen yet. And right now they cooking. It looks real good to me, man. Like I ain't gonna say real good. Like I would love to see.
There. I'm there. I think it looks real good. I mean, you're 8 straight, 10-2, beat the Ravens, beat the Bengals, beat the Rams, beat the Commanders. I mean, I think we're there. I think it looks real good right now.
It looks good. I'm gonna say it's room for improvement just because of what John and Dan is saying as far as, I don't want him to throw it more, but I would like him to be more accurate on the throws he was 11 for 19. So that's pretty. He had 2 touchdowns with 11 makes, 11 completions. Now, one of them was a run, albeit, but he still had 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? With 19 passes. Think about that. Against a number 2 ranked run defensive team. They were supposed to shut us down. Saquon got 100 yards tonight. And what you call him look like how you said, he looked like a shell of himself. Lamar Jackson. He didn't look like him. He looked like how he did in a championship game against Kansas City last year.
Yeah.
That's how Lamar Jackson looked like.
We spooked Lamar tonight. Boo! Yo, Lamar, boo! All right, brother, I got to run, man. Good stuff, Akbar. I'll talk to you next week, all right, my friend?
All right, homie. You have a good one, man.
All right, good stuff, man. Great talking to Akbar. Akbar had a little more time tonight, which was good, man. He was great tonight. Everybody was fantastic tonight. Appreciate everybody in here. Hey, what's up, A? Hope you're doing well, brother. DS, what's up, DS? Grady with a super chat. Appreciate this, Grady. Wouldn't it be nice if we shut down Mahomes' little dream, 3-peat, and retire Kelsey? I need that revenge. Boy, that'd be great. That would be great. Yeah, Ryan, I'll side with you on this, man. Somebody's got to let me know. Maybe I'm just like not a fashion guy, and I never will profess to be a fashion guy, or I don't know. Little Ralph Lauren is good for me if I'm going upper echelon in fashion. What the hell was A.J. Brown wearing tonight to the game? He had his whole face covered. It almost looked like he had ski goggles on. I was just laughing. I thought it was funny, Ryan, but I don't know. Some of these NFL outfits, man, these people show up to these games, and I'm like, what the fuck? You got so much money, you don't know what to do with it, so you're just buying crazy outfits. I don't know what the hell it was, Ryan. I'm the wrong guy to ask, though. A checks in. Saquon has another gear in the fourth. Henry didn't. That's a good point, because Saquon really was running hard in the fourth, and Derrick Henry wasn't much of a problem. Good stuff there. Appreciate everybody on the super chats, man. We had a great show today on super chat. How many likes did we get to, by the way? 730. Yeah, that's really good, man. I was trying to get to 1,000 early with how many people were on here, but 730. I can live with that, man. Can we get to 750, 800? You guys are the best, man. That's crazy good. Crazy good. Yeah, Pat Ryan, the cleats thing was really cool. The My Cause, My Cleats is really cool. I posted the one on X. I posted was actually a guy who doesn't play, so you probably didn't see it out there. But I posted this on X. They showed it on the broadcast, but these are my favorite ones. These are Darian Kennard, our backup offensive lineman. He does guard tackle combos. You guys remember Darian Kennard from the preseason? These are his cleats for the Wounded Warrior Project. So obviously, I'm a big veteran guy, so I like to care for the veterans. I think it's really cool, but these are just sick cleats. I mean, look at those things. Those are the coolest cleats I think I've ever seen. These are my favorite ones. Of anybody I saw in the NFL, these are my favorite ones by far. I think they're so fresh. They're Jordan 1s, and they're American flag. I mean, they're cool, man. DS, it's still going, man. Krause's coach goes all winter long, but the Thanksgiving drive was tremendous. We are continuing to collect coats. So for anybody in the region and in the area that wants to donate or collect coats, you let me know. You reach out to me, and I will get in touch with you, and we'll organize that. So DS, it's still going. Krause's coach still going, but very strong right now. We're on pace to reach our goal of 25,000 coats this winter that we will donate and give away, and give to the homeless, and give to veteran shelters, and give to any of those less fortunate in need who, it's cold, man. When you got nothing in life and the cold weather comes, I'm telling you, man, these people struggle. So, some of these people, you would think they won the lottery when we give them a coat, It's really cool. Really cool. Thank you for asking about it. I appreciate it. Good stuff. I'll take a couple more comments, and then I'll get out of here, man. Boy, I thought I was going to have a football game to watch. It's already 10:38. Holy crap. Buffalo's up 28-10 in that game. Any other comments? Any other comments I will hit? Time to close these games out and stay healthy. The teams coming up don't have the talent. Agreed, I think we might run the table, dude. We might run the table. We might run the table. We will see. Wilfredo, what's up, Wilfredo? An Eagle will be at a Raven any time of the week. Yes, I agree. Eagles is the dominant aerial species, if that's can you refer to birds as that? Aerial species? Ryan, this is a good question. Ryan says, Xander, do you think we really went to the moon? I'm not sure, man. Ryan, I'm not getting into that, though. I don't want to get the chat and everybody's panties in a bunch. Ryan, all I'm saying is, I don't know. Maybe your theory is just as sound as everybody's who is that we did go there. I don't know, Ryan. This is how you know we've reached after 3 hours on the postgame show. We're talking about moon landings. Twiz says, Xander, I'm going to check my supers for my bet with Sills. Don't let him back out. Twiz, I don't know, man. Joe Whip, thank you for clarifying. He says, yes, we went to the moon. I was around then. Joe, did you ever go to that the SpaceX launch? Because that would have been that was crazy. I would love to go to one of those and watch one of those. They seem just incredible. Akbar, thank you for joining, brother. You were awesome tonight, as always. I like that we had a little more time, Akbar. So thank you for doing it, brother. You were great. Great as always, my man. Appreciate it. Mike, thanks for being here. Good stuff. Big win. Thanks, Xander. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate you, my friend. Yeah, Brian Pumper. Is Brian here? Brian, you were not on point today, my friend. I got you, Joe. Canceled due to Milton. That stinks. Hopefully we'll get out to another one because they are crazy looking, those rocket launches, man. They look unbelievable. I got you, Wilfred. I picked up on what you were trying to say. An Eagle will beat a Raven any time of the week. Eat crow. Good stuff. All right, everybody. Great show, man. Just to recap it up, that's 8 straight, but who's counting? 8 straight for our Philadelphia Eagles. You know, I said something on the National Football Show this week, and I'm gonna say it here because I kind of had this realization. And I know we've been a good organization, so I'm not trying to insinuate that we haven't been a great organization in the past, but the level of winning that we're having right now in Philly, like, say what you want about Jalen and say what you want about Nick Sirianni, but this level of winning, it started when these guys showed up. Like, even Carson Wentz, we won 10 games multiple times. We were 9-8 a couple years. We had the 13-win year, obviously, where we went to the Super Bowl. But, like, we're 10-2 right now. We were 10-2 last year outside of an unprecedented collapse. The year before that, we were 14-3. Like, guys, we're fucking winning games. Like, when we're Eagle fans, we don't even know how the rest of the NFL world lives right now. When they get their gear on and they get ready to watch their team on Sunday, like, they could lose Eagles win most of the time. Most of the time we're turning this team on, they win. And that started when Jalen showed up, and that started when Nick Sirianni showed up. So whatever your issues are with them, and I'm sure everybody has some, that whether they want to believe them or not, I think they're trumped by what these two guys are doing for this organization. How much we're winning. I mean, it's impressive, man. It really is. Winning in the NFL is not easy. So don't let somebody, they have good talent. Okay, it's the NFL. I mean, good talent doesn't always equal wins. This team is winning, man. So got to give them credit. Got to give them credit. Good stuff, everybody. Thank you for all the support on the show today. What did we get to on likes? 746. I'll take that. I will take that. Appreciate all you guys. Hit that like button on your way out. Johnny Mac segment's premiering on the channel now. I know. I'm like a whiz, man. I'm producing and talking to you guys all at once. Did you even notice? I shouldn't be telling you my secrets. But premiering on the channel right now is John McMullen's segment. So we will get out of here. I'll let you guys enjoy that. If you missed Johnny Mac on the show today, enjoy the rest of the Sunday Night Football, and we will catch you all tomorrow in the morning on Birds 365. Thanks, everybody. Catch you tomorrow.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The following is a real testimonial from the father of a young injured victim.
I didn't think she was going to make it.
Major Perry's daughter was the victim of a horrific accident caused by someone else's negligence.
If you don't find the right counselor, law firm that you're looking for, you will get lost in the wilderness.
Badly injured? Call the Fritz and Bianculli Law Firm at 215-458-2222 and find out why they say, "We got this."
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong as the #1 health insurer in the region. No IBX is always looking out for you.
We noticed that there was mold creeping into our basement about a year and a half ago, and wanted to make sure that we were getting rid of the problem permanently. We actually reached out to several different contractors to get it resolved, and actually 2 of them recommended DryTech to us as a long-term solution. Other than the noise factor, we wouldn't even know that there was work being done on the basement level. It's really been a clean process for us.
Score and save this football season on your car insurance. Before the next game, save up to 40% on your auto insurance policy. That's right, 40% savings. Call an audible this season and contact the Del Val Insurance Group. They're an advocate for you, not an insurance company. That means they'll get you the right coverage and save you up to 40%. Call managing partners Fran or Jim of Del Val Insurance, 215-354-0122, or score and save at dvigi.com. dvigi.com.
EAGLES. Eagles.